Coach Jimbo Fisher, led by quarterback Kellen Mond. The Aggies are 3-2 as they welcome the Kentucky Wildcats off to their best start since 2007, led by star running back Benny Snell. The football Cats are the talk of the Commonwealth.
What is going on with this Kentucky Wildcat team?
People around the state are used to the basketball success.
I'm totally buying into Kentucky.
We've already got them winning the national championship.
This team is for real.
Let's go Wildcats.
And welcome everyone to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton by Hilton. About 100,000 people expected to be on hand tonight here at Kyle Field. They'll watch 5-0 Kentucky, one of 13 remaining undefeated teams in the country, and ranked number 13 take on Texas A&M, 3-2, with the 2 losses to number 1 Alabama and then number 2 Clemson. Good evening, everybody. Welcome, Sean McDonough along with Todd Blackledge. Delighted to have you with us. We'll be joined in just a moment by Holly Rowe. And Todd, the Kentucky Wildcats, one of the great stories in college football this year. They built it up under Coach Mark Stoops in his image. It's a power running game led by Benny Snell, and Texas A&M thinks it has the best running back in the SEC in Travion Williams.
Well, we have the 2 top rushers in the conference in this ball game. Benny Snell of Kentucky is 225 pounds. He has great leg drive. He runs with power and a huge chip on his shoulder. More than half of his yards come after initial contact. Travion Williams, he's a guy as a freshman, became the first A&M freshman to go for over 1,000. Battled injuries last year, healthy now, and off to a fast start.
When we visited with them yesterday, both running backs said the result of the game is the most important thing, but it is an opportunity to make a statement about who the best running back is in the SEC. Benny Snell said, I think that's already been decided based on my numbers, but he welcomes the chance to take the field tonight as the Kentucky Wildcats try to get to 6-0 for the first time since 1950. They're already 3-0 in conference play as they face a tough test tonight, including the 12th man. One of the great home field advantages in college football for the Texas A&M Aggies. And here come the Aggies, led by Jimbo Fisher. He called this a pivotal game for his team. He'll learn a lot about his Aggies against undefeated Kentucky tonight. First meeting since 1953. The kickoff in a moment. Watching the SEC on ESPN from College Station, Texas. Hot night and humid, temperature near 90 degrees as Kentucky and Texas A&M get ready. Texas A&M won the toss and deferred, so the Aggies will kick off. Braden Mann with a strong leg. 26 touchbacks this season and 35 kickoffs. Sends it in the air toward Lynn Bowden. And that's out of the back of the end zone. Down on the field, Holly Rowe.
Well, consider this. Last year at this time, Kentucky quarterback Terry Wilson was playing at Garden City Community College in Kansas. What a difference a year makes. He had a really great recruiting pitch from his running back, Benny Snell, who said, if you come to Kentucky, I promise I will give you everything, extra effort. But in a night when they are facing one of the most stingy run defenses in the SEC, Snell could be shut down. So Terry Wilson, when we said, are you ready to win a game for the Cats with your arm? He said, no doubt, I'm ready for this opportunity.
They haven't needed much from the passing game. They've gotten ahead, leaning heavily on the run. They might need him to produce more down the field throws tonight. He fakes to Benny Snell, and the pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage.
Trying to get a little short hitch route just to kind of get him started. And the ball knocked down. Safe throw. Nice work by Durham, knocking the ball down.
Landis Durham, senior defensive end from Plano, Texas. 2nd down and 10. It's an excellent offensive line for Kentucky. They fake it to Snell, and as a result, a wide open receiver C.J. Conrad, one of the best tight ends in the country, a 17-yard gain to the 42.
This is an RPO. The offensive line is blocking run. Kentucky, a run-heavy team. They fake it in there, and the linebackers coming downhill left that area voided for the tight end Conrad.
And mark the ball back on the 41-yard line. Pickup of 16. A&M crowding the line of scrimmage, so they haven't handed it to Benny Snell yet. He stays in the block for Wilson, who has another man open. It's Conrad again for 9 yards.
How about it? 3 plays in the game, all 3 passes, 2 of them complete by Terry Wilson. All safe stuff. That tight end, a big target right in the middle of the field. Nice job by Eddie Gran, the offensive coordinator, getting his quarterback off to a quick start. Now it's time for Benny Snell.
Second down, about 2.5 for Kentucky, first down. Lynn Bowden, their leading receiver, the motion man. Wilson, an excellent runner. Matter of fact, he was a big part of their win against Florida with his running skills.
He could have made the first down there if he would have just ducked that shoulder and gone forward. He turned his back to the line of scrimmage and came up short. Third down defense for Texas A&M. They've been really good. Now this is 3rd and short and a very good running team, so you gotta like Kentucky's chances running the football here for a first down.
Only Miami of Florida and Syracuse better on third down defense entering this weekend. And there's Snell, his first carry, and a first down to the A&M 48-yard line.
Just power football. You got a lot of blockers over here. Benny Snell has great vision and patience along with that strength. He waits, sees a crease, and then he runs behind his pad so well. And he is always going to get extra yardage because of his running style.
A new mouthpiece every week for Benny Snell. He said he likes that one because it whistles when he runs by people and starts breathing a bit more heavily. Junior out of Westerville, Ohio, from a football family. His dad was a running back at Ohio Northern. He's related to Matt Snell, the fine running back from the New York Jets in the 60s and 70s.
Number 71, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
The penalty was on Logan Stenberg, the left guard, but that was too long at the line of scrimmage that time by Terry Wilson. That's how hard for those offensive linemen to be in a stance that long. Very deliberate at the line of scrimmage, and a false start by the left guard. Time for a screen type play right here.
It's Snell to the 50-yard line. Kingsley Kiki made the tackle. Here's a deeper look into the life of Benny Snell Jr. Peanut butter and jelly with bananas. Who doesn't like that? We mentioned his dad, a fine running back himself. Signed by the Ravens, but played in NFL Europe and the XFL. He's here tonight. He's been a great influence on his son. Wilson faked the toss and managed to get away from the first tackler, but not Tyrell Dodson. He escaped from Justin Matabike.
Tyrell Dodson was a spy on that play. He was watching the quarterback the whole way. Watch Dodson right here, or actually he's right here. He's going to just keep his eye right on the quarterback. His responsibility is Terry Wilson. He's mirroring him wherever he goes, and once he sees Wilson try to break the pocket, he's right there for the tackle.
3rd and 13. Kentucky not accustomed to this. They've stayed ahead of the chains most of the season, relying on that running game. Wilson got it off quickly. Snell's in trouble and dumped for a loss. Otaro Alaka, their leading tackler for the year, drops Snell at the 44-yard line.
Back-to-back plays. We see those two linebackers. They're both excellent players. Dodson, the play before, Alaka on 3rd down, making good open field tackles, and Kentucky will have to punt the football.
Max Duffy, the punter, 25-year-old sophomore from Perth, Australia. Arrived in January, so he took advantage of the extra time on the Kentucky campus in Lexington to learn the rules of American football. Good punt. And a fair catch made at the 13-yard line by Roshad Paul. 44-yard punt. So here comes Kellen Mond in Texas A&M on offense for the first time right after this. Now 13 undefeated teams in the country, including Kentucky. Texas A&M on offense for the first time. Travion Williams, one of the best running backs in the country, into the arms of Josh Allen, one of the best defenders
really
in
nice.
the United States.
Nice block by Carson Green, the right tackle. This is the biggest offensive line they've ever had at Texas A&M. The leader is their center, Eric McCoy, 3-year starter, great leader, communicator, smart guy. Really nice first play for them with the run game.
With Kellen Mond at the helm, as you saw with his numbers, off to a solid start. And Travion Williams dumped behind the line of scrimmage. Mike Edwards, one of 8 seniors who started on this Kentucky defense, up from his safety spot to make the play.
The entire secondary, all 4 are seniors, and they have been playing at a very high level. Mike Edwards with a nice tackle there, forcing a 3rd down situation.
Kentucky defense giving up just 12.6 points per game. 3rd best in the country entering the weekend behind Washington and undefeated Cincinnati.
Josh Allen's who you better watch out for, 41.
He was blocked well, and Mond into traffic with a nice throw to Jay Sternberger, the junior college transfer, with a 14-yard catch and a 1st down.
Beautiful route. Here's Sternberger. He's just going to run it out, but the timing of the throw is why this was a completion. As soon as he comes out of the break, the ball is there in between 2 defenders. You can't throw it any better than Kellen Mond did right there. This is a team that did not even have a tight end on the roster last year. Sternberger has been a huge addition.
Under Kevin Sumlin, they were a spread offense team. Their base was a running back and 4 wide receivers. Mond, dual threat with Jimbo Fisher's offense, more of a pro-style attack. They don't have as many design runs as they've had here at A&M in the past under Coach Sumlin.
Well, he is a very dangerous runner when he gets into the open field. He's very fast. He had over 100 yards rushing against Alabama.
First season here for Jimbo Fisher, lured away from Florida State. After 8 successful seasons there, of course, a 10-year deal for $75 million would lure a lot of people away from a lot of places. Movement along the line and a flag thrown before they can snap it on 2nd and 8.
False start. Number 78, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Same thing we saw with Kentucky. One of the interior linemen. It's a long snap count. A long time at the line of scrimmage and a little early movement, that time by the right guard Keaton Sutherland.
Mark Stoops, in his 6th season as head coach at Kentucky, has built it up season by season. They've matched or improved on their win total every year under Coach Stoops, and if they win today, they'll be bowl eligible for the 3rd year in a row. Nearly midway through the opening quarter, Mond into traffic and incomplete. Tried to rifle it to Kendrick Rogers, who couldn't hang on with Derek Beatty covering.
There you see one of those senior cornerbacks. Beatty, both corners are 6'3". They're big, long, and physical guys. Play with a lot of confidence. Beatty's been starting since the end of his freshman year. One of the real vocal leaders, and came up with a nice play there to force 3rd and long. We have to rush Kellen Mond with discipline here. You see a guy in the middle of the field, probably there to spy Kellen Mond.
And number 41, the biggest concern for the A&M offensive line. High throw over the head of Jay Sternberger, and incomplete, and Texas A&M will punt.
Both teams ended up in 3rd and long. Neither one of these teams are really built to play behind the chains. Good job by both defenses, forcing the negative play, forcing 3rd and long, and ultimately forcing a punt.
How about the season Braden Mann is having? His first year as a starting punter here. 53.6 leading the country And if he finished the year there, it would be the single season FBS record. And what a punt this is. David Bouvier let it go, and the Aggies down it at the 6-yard line. 65-yard punt, which matches his longest of the season. There is a flag down at the Kentucky 41-yard line along the far hash marks.
Yeah, there was a takedown by one of the Kentucky blockers. It was an obvious penalty. It'll be a holding on the return team.
During the kick, holding number 21 receiving team. Penalties half the distance to the goal from the end of the kick. First down, Kentucky. Timeout.
Chris Westry called for the penalty. No score midway through the first quarter.
Guaranteed. Book at Hampton.com. And in part by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
A lot of traditions here at Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher said he's still learning a few of them. That was yell practice, a tradition the night before every game here at Kyle Field. Dates back to the 1930s. The yell leaders direct the crowd in yells. They put a lot of people here late at night, about 25,000 typically. After the penalty and the great punt by Kentucky from its own 3. And Snell out to the 9. The defensive coaches, Mike Elko for Texas A&M, we talked to him yesterday, said sometimes Kentucky blocks it. It should go for about 2 yards, and he gets 6 or 7.
Yeah, he makes almost 3/4 of his yardage after the initial contact. He's got great leg drive. He runs behind his pads, and he runs angrily. So that's a good combination for extra yards.
5'11", solidly built, 223 pounds, already 3rd in career rushing at Kentucky. Has room on the corner. And out of bounds in the 18 with a first down, chased out by Charles Oliver.
Nice job by Kentucky getting away from their own goal line. It's Ben Snell Sr.
Looks like he could still play.
He sure does.
Ma Maple alongside.
Responsible for a lot of Benny's early life training and getting him ready to be in the position he's in right now.
His son, by his own admission, carries a pretty significant chip on his shoulder. Runs with some anger. There's Josh Ali as they ran a 5-receiver set with 3 to the near side. Otaro Olaka made the tackle, but a good gain on first down.
One of the guys that I would expect to see Kentucky try to get the football to now is Lynn Bowden. We've seen Snell, we've seen Terry Wilson, we've seen the tight end C.J. Conrad. This guy right here is their most dynamic guy with the ball in his hands when he gets it in space. Former high school quarterback, outstanding athlete with the football.
Relatively young and inexperienced receiving group. They lost 4 key players from a year ago at that position. Wilson lots of time throwing into single coverage, and it's knocked down by Charles Oliver, again trying to get it to Josh Ali.
We talked about the corners for Kentucky being tall and rangy, both 6'3". Charles Oliver is the same way. 6'3" corner, uses his length. A good shot. Redhead getting out of the way, man.
Third down and 5. Long count by Wilson. In a crowd, got hit just as he delivered, and it's a bit too high for Lynn Bowden. Deshaun Capers-Smith had the coverage of senior out of New Orleans.
Terry Wilson did a good job just getting rid of this football. Texas A&M will line 6 guys up to the line of scrimmage. You don't know for sure who's coming. Kiki came free. Big hit on the quarterback. He did a nice job just staying in there and getting rid of the football, even though it was incomplete.
Max Duffy to punt again. They cover punts very well. Wow. Rashad Paul scooped it up and just took it out of bounds. 63-yard punt to flip the field by the Australian Duffy. Well, some big comebacks today around college football this season. Taco Bell is celebrating student sections, passionate fans like those here at Kyle Field. The Texas A&M student section already on the national watch list. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. No score here. Nearly 10 minutes played. Texas A&M on offense for the second time, and Travion Williams dumped by the safety, Mike Edwards. They have him up around the line of scrimmage to deal with the terrific running back Williams.
He really timed that well because there were two linemen pulling, and they just ran right by him. He was a little bit off the ball. He wasn't right on the line of scrimmage, so the two linemen pulling didn't see him. They went right by him. He got into the backfield for a loss of yardage play. Kentucky playing with a new starting inside linebacker. This guy right here, number 22, a true freshman. Chris Oates playing because Cash Daniel, their starter, has to sit out the first half for a targeting foul last week against South Carolina.
High throw, too high to the near sideline for Kendrick Rogers. Kellen Mond off target. Here's Holly.
Well, guys, Kellen Mond struggling to get in a throwing rhythm so far. Keep in mind, he's without his favorite target, Jamon Osborne, a former high school teammate of his. They were roommates at IMG Academy. Osborne had surgery on Tuesday on a right foot injury. He broke his 5th metatarsal. So just look, who does he look for out here? He has gone to the tight end quite a bit, but who does he get comfortable with in this game passing?
Well, they're thinking Courtney Davis, number 1, is the guy that can step up and take the place. He's in the slot at the bottom of the screen right here.
3rd down and 11. Conservative play call by Jimbo Fisher. Will it result in the first down? Travion Williams stood up. Forward progress stopped about a yard shy of the line to make. Darius West, another senior safety out of Lima, Ohio, and they have a roster filled with players from Ohio, the home state of Coach Stoops. There's Osborne. That's a big loss. He caught 50 balls last year as a true freshman, and 15 entering this week, and he'll be out at least a few weeks.
Well, and that's where you miss him on those 3rd down plays. The guy you feel like you have the best chemistry with, you know where he's going to be, and that's a big loss for their offense right now.
Braden Mann, these punters showing off their first efforts. That's a low kick that he got away with. Stayed inbounds and bounced for about 15 yards along the sideline. And Bouvier stopped at the 32. So Kentucky, with a veteran team coming back, 5-0. They think the country's surprised. They're not all that surprised. Of course, the signature win at Florida. They'd lost 31 in a row to the Gators. They're 3-0 in the SEC for the first time since 1977. Holly?
Well, guys, a huge story developing here down on the field. The best offensive lineman for Kentucky, their center, Drake Jackson, who they call the quarterback, is out of this game with a groin injury. So a new center right now. I'll give you more in just a moment.
Looks like they moved Bunchy Stallings to center, who is their best guard. Moved him over and brought a new right guard in.
A very impressive guard, A.J. Rose, the backup to Benny Snell. A nice catch and about a 3-yard gain.
And guys, just keep in mind, Bunchy Stallings is usually their right guard that pulls a lot in some of their actions. So this really changes what they like to do up front. But Bunchy did take a bunch of practice snaps with Terry Wilson here on the sideline before he ran out there to hurry and take over at center.
A lot of times offensive line, they cross-train guys just for situations like this.
Veteran offensive line, 4 starters back from a year ago. That's one of the keys to their success as a team. A lot of experience. Rose been a very nice compliment to Snell. Came up about a yard short of the first down. A big tackle by Keldrick Carper.
And Eddie Grant told us they were going to try to find about 10 more plays for Rose. They feel like he's really come on. It will keep Benny Snell fresh. There's Eddie Grant, long-time coordinator, running back coach in this conference.
Both some good ones at Auburn, at LSU, at Ole Miss. He raves about Snell. 3rd down and 1. Rose remains the running back. And he gets the call straight ahead, really off right guard where Bunchy Stallings ordinarily would be. That is the strength of their offensive line, the right, when Stallings is over there.
Well, they still ran right by him. He kind of led into the zone on that right side, ran right behind Bunchy Stallings, and ran underneath the tackle of Keldrick Carper, number 14. The advantage for Stallings moving to center is that Kentucky, unlike A&M, they are never under the center. They're in the shotgun all the time. So he's practiced shotgun snaps.
Terry Wilson, look out. Saw the pressure coming from his right. Got away from Tyree Johnson. And runs out of bounds with a gain on that play.
What I think we might see as a counter by Mike Elko now would be to maybe take Dalen Mack, who is playing outstanding up front this year for A&M, put him right over the nose. He can be a very disruptive guy. So if you put him right over the new center, Bunchy Stallings, it could cause some problems.
Mack is 6'1", 320. They flip it to Lynn Bowden with some running room. He can fly inside the 20, inside the 10, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Kentucky. 54 yards.
I don't know what Donovan Wilson was doing, number 6. It's act like watch number 6. It looks like he almost doesn't know that Bowden has the football. He runs right by him. Olaka takes a bad angle, and Lynn Bowden with an outstanding play. We talked about how dangerous he is when he gets his hands on the football. Shows it right there.
A pass play of 54 yards. Matching the longest pass play by the Wildcats this year, and Bowden had the other 54-yarder. Miles Butler the extra point.
Those are the best passes you could ever ask for as a quarterback. You threw it about 1.5 yards, underhand, and you let this guy do the rest.
He's playing for his baby boy, son Lynn III. Indeed they are. Like Kentucky, one of the 13 remaining undefeated teams in the country. Lynn Bowden Jr. from Youngstown, Ohio, the hometown of Coach Mark Stoops. They have a pipeline, particularly to Youngstown, but also to the state of Ohio on a larger scale. And a lot of big plays at the beginning of this season in contrast to the start of last year.
Well, I'll tell you, they are really committed to recruiting the state. 27 guys on the roster from the state of Ohio. Vince Morrow, the recruiting coordinator, is also from Youngstown Cardinal Mooney, and he and Mark Stoops are in lockstep recruiting that state.
Grant McInnes kicks off. Jay-Sean Corbin takes a knee about 3 yards deep. Tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Odell Beckham Jr. sounds off on the Giants' 1-3 start. Why their game plan isn't getting OBJ the ball enough. And Alex Rodriguez and Patrick Mahomes discuss how A-Rod's influence helped young Mahomes reach the big leagues. Young Mahomes, I think he's probably talking about Patrick's dad, Pat Mahomes. Tune in tomorrow and find out. Pat Mahomes, fine baseball pitcher. Patrick almost followed him in baseball, but I think he made the right decision.
I think so. He's pretty special. So is this guy, Josh Allen. Been pretty quiet so far, but he is a potential game wrecker.
Did a nice job blocking him. He got in the face of Mond and almost batted it out of his hand. And Mond down back at the 18-yard line.
No help on this guy. He's too good of a speed rusher. He goes by the left tackle, and this is the move he's worked on, that chop at the end of the rush. He doesn't get too far above the quarterback, and Kellen Mond shows some strength to hold on to that football, because that is almost a sure strip sack or fumble in most cases.
He's doing it all, leading the conference in tackles for loss, sacks, and he drops into coverage about as often as he rushes. Mark Stoops said if there's a defensive player in the country playing better than Josh Allen, I want to see who it is. Of course, Coach Stoops back on his own defense. Jay-Sean Corbin with some running room. Bounced off the hit of Mike Edwards, got a few more, and came up 2 yards short of the line to make it the 33, a 15-yard pickup.
Jay-Sean Corbin is another young back. Jimbo Fisher was recruiting him at Florida State. Continued to recruit him, got him to come to Texas A&M. They want to get him more and more involved in what they're doing. He took the opening kickoff against Arkansas back for a touchdown last week.
End of the first quarter.
Here's a Floridian from Rockledge, Florida. Fast-moving quarter, as you might expect, when these two teams that lean on the run get together. 7-0 Kentucky. A hot night in College Station. To the WNBA, they went to the WNBA Finals. He's a dad, 9-month-old son Wesley. The guy really changed his body in the offseason. And the big key to this team's success, Todd, is he decided to come back.
Right.
C.J. Conrad, the tight end, decided to come back. Mike Edwards, the safety, decided to come back when all were pondering the NFL.
Well, Josh Allen made himself a whole lot of money by coming back because he is a more complete player, has really benefited from one of the new coaches, Brad White, the outside linebacker coach.
Of the runner reaching the line to gain is under further review.
Travion Williams seemed to convert on 3rd and short, but they're going to take a look at it in the booth. Jordan Jones, the tackle.
Saying Brad White is the new outside linebacker coach. He spent the last 6 years with the Indianapolis Colts, and he has really helped to refine Josh Allen's game. He went on an inside move that time. Nice play by Jordan Jones filling that outside gap, and from that shot it looked like he might have been down before the ball crossed the line to gain.
Might have bounced to the line to make. And that's a big ruling because it'll be 4th down. And then Jimbo Fisher in his own territory would probably punt. There's a camera that is right in the yard marker.
Well, that's close. I mean,
I think they marked it right. I mean, they have the nose of the football just about on the 35-yard line, and has to be conclusive. And spots of the ball as we bring in Bill LeMonnier, long time on the field official, great referee in the Big Ten. As I read the card the way Bill wrote it for me. Bill, what do you think? This is a tough one for replay. You're talking about inches here.
Well, I appreciate the compliment, but
and it's the truth.
One of the things that we have here is they were going big line to big line, so that makes this a little bit easier for the review and for spotting it for the new 1st down. I think this play minimally is going to stand, if not be confirmed.
Yeah. Well, and I think it will be, if it is confirmed, or what A&M needs to do is right now is a perfect time to go a play action and try to throw the ball downfield, try to stretch this Kentucky defense. You've run the ball with some success here so far. You pick up a 1st down, you get good protection.
After further review, the ruling is the runner was down with the ball short of the 35-yard line. It's 4th down.
He's keeping the offense on the field. 4th and short in your own territory. You've got a big quarterback. I would expect quarterback sneak here.
Lamont 6'2", 210. It's the heaviest offensive line in school history. They averaged 313 pounds. Looked like he might have juggled the snap from way up here at top Kyle Field, but he did get the 1st down.
So here's the issue. This is the 1st year in his quarterbacking life that Kellen Mond has ever took snaps under center. I mean, all through high school, he took shotgun snaps. All through his time here at A&M, he did bobble the snap. And that's the hardest place to secure a snap, is in goal line and short yardage plays, because the center is usually making a reach block, and you have to really hang in there and ride the center. And Kellen Mond was very fortunate that he was able to hang on to that football.
Neither of the star running backs is really broken free. Travion Williams has 16 yards rushing. It's Mond doing the work with his feet. And that was the issue for him, Todd. He was recruited by Kevin Sumlin as a dual threat running and throwing quarterback, and he wondered how much the running part would be a factor with Jimbo Fisher's offense.
Well, this is an option. Travion Williams is blocking. Kellen Mond has the option of pitching to Courtney Davis, but makes the right decision to run the football. He is a talented runner because he's got speed when he gets to that 2nd level of the defense.
16-yard gain there. Mond told us, obviously, when they made the coaching change, there was some concern in his mind. But once he read about Jimbo Fisher's history of developing quarterbacks and sending them on to the NFL, he was very excited. He thinks he's a much better pocket passer than he was. And perhaps the improvement on display there as he dodged the rush and got it to Courtney Davis for a 1st down to the Kentucky 36.
Yeah, rather than just taking off and trying to get out of the pocket when things break down a little bit, he just keeps his poise, keeps his eyes downfield, and makes a beautiful throw to Courtney Davis. It was a great inside rush, a quick inside rush by T.J. Carter that collapsed the pocket, but there was no panic Kellen Mond on that play.
Very mature young man, raised in a military family. His dad spent 10 years in the Army. I was very impressed by both quarterbacks, Todd, during our visit yesterday. Both obviously very mature young men. Jay-Sean Corbin got flattened, but got about 6 for A&M on the move. Here's a look at the bio of Kellen Mond, sophomore from San Antonio. But as we mentioned, spent a year at IMG Academy last year in high school. And was in a battle to be the starting quarterback in the offseason. He was actually the backup as a true freshman at the start of last year. Nick Starkel was the starter. Starkel hurt his foot in their crushing loss at the beginning of the year against UCLA. Mond started 8 games, went 5-3. Starkel got his job back at the end of the year. Then they battled with the new coaching staff, really auditioning, both of them, and Mond won the battle, and he's seen almost all of the snaps so far this season. Jay-Sean Corbin stopped by Mike Edwards. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Well, the 2 losses, he did a lot of good things. He threw for over 400 yards against Clemson, the game here that they had a lot of chances to win. The Alabama game, it ended up being kind of a lopsided score, but it was close for a good portion of that game. And in that game, he ran the ball well, ran for over 100 yards. He's a very talented guy who I think is going to get better and better under the tutelage of Jimbo Fisher and Darryl Dickey, the quarterback coach.
Fisher calls the plays with plenty of input from Dickey. Mond kept it. Mond lunging for the marker. Derek Beatty chased him out, and he's short by about a yard.
Kentucky did a really nice job of blowing up the mesh point on this play. This is a read play for Kellen Mond. They forced him to keep the football. Watch the crash on the mesh point. Excellent job. That was Josh Allen who tackled the back and forced the quarterback to keep and break it outside, and nice pursuit by the Kentucky defense.
They went for it on 4th and inches in their own territory with a true freshman kicker who'd be trying one from about 45 here. Jimbo Fisher has the offense out there. I think he might call a timeout. He is the official nearby. They snap it. They hand it off to Jay-Sean Corbin, and it doesn't look like he got it.
You know, the last 4th and short, they were under the center and ran quarterback sneak. This time they put the quarterback in the shotgun and handed it to Corbin, and I'm not sure he got it.
Interesting, no Travion Williams on the field.
You're already 5 yards off the ball, and they didn't get a good push up front. It's just a matter if he got that ball across the line.
Please reset the game clock to 10:50. 10:50 on the game clock.
And they're going to measure here. Cordell Looney, backup defensive end, key part of that tackle. They're much deeper in the defensive line than they've been in the past. Another of the many factors in their success, and they're short by almost a yard. Kentucky takes over on downs.
We talk about the Texas A&M run defense coming into the game 3rd in the nation, only giving up 80 yards a game. Kentucky's run defense has been excellent themselves, averaging only giving up 3.6 yards per rushing attempt. That time on 4th down, they were very stout. Actually on 3rd and 4th down, outstanding run defense.
Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, big news. Drake Jackson can return to this game, but on this play, he's not running in there. They thought he was going to come in and be the center and snap right now, but they're going to have to stick with Bunchy Stallings right now, but Drake Jackson can return.
He's usually the right guard. Luke Fortner, backup, sophomore, number 79 in at guard. Benny Snell.
That's a typical Benny Snell run right there. That play looked like it was gained 1-2 yards, but again, this is a guy who runs behind his pads. He has great leg drive, very powerful legs, and he just churns out more yards than it looks like there. I mean, that's a 5-6 yard gain when it looked like it would have been a 1 or 2 yard gain.
Drake Jackson, the starting center, does look ready, as Holly said, still on the sideline. Kentucky leading 7-0. And the toss dropped by Snell, and he scoops it back in. Looked like Kingsley Keke had a great chance to get it for Texas A&M.
This is a bad pitch. This pitch is high and up on the shoulder pad of Benny Snell. You want that ball low and right in front of him so he can catch it and turn upfield. They use this action a lot. They can toss it. The quarterback can keep it. They'll also throw off of it, but that was a bad pitch by the quarterback, Terry Wilson.
Larry Grant talked about staying ahead of the chains. They're not as well equipped as some teams that throw the ball better to convert on 3rd and 7. Wilson's average just 119 yards per game passing. He's poised in the pocket. He can run. He got 105 rushing yards in their win at Florida. He got rocked well short of the first down. Belted by Donovan Wilson, the senior safety from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Well, this was only a 3-man rush, which means they drop 8 into coverage, and they've got a linebacker in there watching the quarterback. So really good disguise by Mike Elko. Nowhere to go with the football for Terry Wilson against those 8 guys dropping, and they forced the punt. Good response after their offense gave it up on 4th down.
Max Duffy will kick it. Rashad Paul back deep. Driving spiral and a fair catch made at the 15-yard line. But the punting we've seen all season long in college football has been terrific. That one traveled 51.
Stretch this Kentucky defense a little bit. They're not having a lot of success on 3rd down because they've had long yardage situations. I think 1st down is a good down to try to throw the football for kind of a chunk play off of play action.
There's 78 yards of offense for Texas A&M nearly midway through the 2nd quarter. Swing pass by Mon in the direction of Travion Williams.
Just an errant throw. You want to get that ball out in front of a running back. You don't have to make him reach or jump or reach back. Catch that ball out in front so his eyes can be on the defense, so he knows who he has to make miss with his first move.
Travion Williams yanked down just shy of the 20. Cordell Looney, who hadn't played much prior to tonight, 6 tackles all year, has been on a couple of plays here in the first half. He's another Ohioan out of Springfield.
3rd down situation. A&M 1 for 5 right now on 3rd downs. A couple of them have been very long. This is a very manageable down as far as distance is concerned for Kellen Mond. Always a threat of a quarterback run here too.
Under duress, Mond steps up but does not get back to the line of scrimmage. It's the true freshman, Chris Oates, filling in for Cash Daniel, out for the first half because of the targeting penalty of last week.
Well, here's Jamar Watson. This is Josh Allen. He's going to drop into coverage. It's the other outside edge rusher who beats the left tackle and gets to the quarterback. Mond doesn't get the sack but forces him up in the pocket where his help is.
Didn't get the sack because he was being held. He came up looking for the flag and he had a point, but Oates finished the job, his first career sack. Braden Mann, another bomb. Bouvier watches it sail over his head and into the end zone.
I mean, you know, some guys when they kick the ball just doesn't look the same coming off their foot. This guy's got one of those legs. It does not look the same.
That was 82 yards. Kentucky, 1946 to 53. NFL coached against Texas A&M in 53, the last meeting between these two schools. Then he came here in 1954 through 57, was also the athletic director here. Here's Terry Wilson on 1st down for Kentucky. Here's Adnan Burke back in the studio.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. Well, I know what's happening. Vanderbilt and Georgia. Anchor down, more like anchor frown. Jake Fromm here and Terry Godwin in Athens right now. They're celebrating after that pass and catch. And look at this by Godwin. I'm standing up. I'm getting in the end zone, Sean McDonough. It's on SEC Network.
Wow. A lot of talent on that Georgia team, number 2 in the country. Kentucky's number 13. LSU's lost now, one of 12 undefeated teams in the country. A.J. Rose lost the ball, and Luke Fortner got on it, but it's a loss on the play of a couple for Kentucky.
Still no Drake Jackson at center. Bunchy Stallings with the center. Ball's popped out. That was Matabike that knocked the ball out, and Fortner does a nice job getting on the football. Kentucky 2 of 5 on third downs. Neither team having much success against these two defenses on third down.
Not much offense on either side. Kentucky just 121 yards of offense, 54 on the touchdown play. Terry Wilson in a crowd. Didn't look like he could follow through as he tried to get it to Dorian Baker.
Yeah, if he could have got rid of this ball a little bit sooner, Dorian Baker was open and probably would have been able to run for the first down. He just is late getting the ball out. Baker's open right now. Right now, he stepped up too far in the pocket, and when he tried to get the ball to Baker, it was too late.
Well, let's see what Duffy can do. It's his turn. The 82-yard punt a moment ago by Braden Mann was the third longest in A&M history, and the longest since 1944 when Bobby Goff set a school record with an 86-yard kick against Texas Tech. That's just a 48-yard punt. Come on, Duffy. Jimbo Fisher, very familiar with the man wearing the head coach's headset across the field, Mark Stoops. Coach Stoops was Jimbo's defensive coordinator at Florida State for 3 years, right before Mark left to go to Lexington as the head coach.
And how about that guy right there? That's Eddie Gran, who was also on that staff. He's the offensive coordinator for Mark Stoops at Kentucky. So a lot of familiarity between these coaches.
We asked Mark Stoops about it. He said, you know, our defense has changed so much over the years, and Jimbo's offense, yeah, we're familiar, but it really isn't much of a factor in this game. What is a factor is neither one of these highly touted and productive running backs can get it going so far.
Well, I think the other thing that is evident, if you're not familiar with Kentucky football this year, here's the thing you got to know. This is not a team that's doing it with flash and spread offense and bells and whistles. They are a physical group in the trenches. On the offense and defensive line, they are built like an SEC team, and that's why they are holding their own at the line of scrimmage, and a big reason why they're undefeated.
Travion Williams lost a yard. He's rushed for just 20 yards, less than 3 per carry. Here he is as a receiver. Lots of running room down the sideline and into Wildcat territory, out at the 39.
We've seen Mike Edwards make some good plays so far. He made a costly mistake. Watch to the top of the screen. Number 7 is going to try to take an angle underneath the blockers, but he underestimates the speed of Travion Williams, and then there's no help on the perimeter. Well executed throwback screen, and Mike Edwards, a very reliable tackler in the open field, took a bad angle to the football.
32-yard gain, longest play of the night for Texas A&M. Kellen Mond on target to Kendrick Rogers, big target at 6'3", 210. Knocked out of bounds at the 33-yard line by Derek Beatty.
He's been bothered a little bit by a foot injury, but he was a star in the Clemson game. 7 catches, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, a couple miraculous type catches in that game.
That was their second game of the year. Clemson was number 2 when they came here. Clemson had to intercept a 2-point attempt by Texas A&M in the final minute to preserve the 2-point win for the Tigers. That pass is incomplete off the hands of Rogers. Jimbo Fisher frustrated about that Clemson game still. When we talked to him yesterday, I felt like we outplayed them, we outgained them. It was a real opportunity early in the year to get a huge win.
They outgained them, they ran more plays, but they also had more turnovers. They had 2 turnovers, and Clemson had 0 on the road, and at the end of the day, Clemson made enough plays to get out of here with a win.
The 3rd down and 4. They're in the fringe of field goal range. They don't have to worry about that. Now Mond on target. Then Cameron Buckley lost the ball after he had advanced past the 1st down marker. Eric McCoy, the center, got it back. But now they're back at the 30-yard line.
Well, the question was his knee down before the ball came out, first of all. And then when the ball was recovered, if it was recovered by A&M, was that beyond the first down. Looks like Lonnie Johnson, the cornerback, is the guy that knocks the ball out.
That's a fumble. He wasn't down. This didn't appear to me that he was, and as a result of the ball going
the ruling
backwards.
on the field of a runner fumbling the ball is under further review.
Let's bring in Bill Lamagna.
On our first view, it didn't appear that he was down. The ball was out. But on the next view, we've got a right knee that's down.
Yes, you're right.
So they're going to reverse this, put the ball at the spot he was down.
Yeah,
first down. Angles are everything, and both knees count.
So that'll be a first down on the completion to Cameron Buckley. You know, last year, this Texas A&M passing game really centered on Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
It was a second-round draft pick at the end of the year by the Arizona Cardinals. Now, as Holly pointed out, especially with Jamon Osmond injured, no primary target, but they think they can get more out of Buckley, more out of #1 Courtney Davis.
And again, a perfect opportunity if this stands as or gets overturned as a complete pass and a first down, a good chance to throw one towards the end zone. You got this Kentucky defense on their heels a little bit. Jimbo Fisher, so much respect for him as a play caller by both Mark Stoops and Matt House, the defensive coordinator. They said, you know, he's a guy who doesn't just call plays. He attacks you. He figures out what you're doing. He sets things up. He makes first downs. Now, they're not very prolific offensively tonight, but he is an outstanding play caller, and these guys are well aware of it.
There's Matt House, 40-year-old defensive coordinator. Obviously, Coach Stoops, with his background on defense, coordinator at Florida State and Arizona for his brother Mike, when Mike was the head coach of the Arizona
After further
Wildcats.
review, the ruling is the runner's knee was down before the ball came out at the 26-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 26. Reset the game clock to 4 minutes and 20 seconds. 4:20 on the game clock, please.
The guy I think that could be a valuable guy to look for right here now is Jay Sternberger. We haven't heard him or seen him very much here since early in the ball game. The tight end of this part of the field is a matchup problem for Kentucky's defense.
What a story he is. He was a third-string tight end at a small
4:20 on the
junior
game
college.
clock, please. At 4:20 on the game clock.
Northeastern Oklahoma,
Thank you.
A&M College in Miami, Oklahoma. The Golden Norsemen, who've actually produced pretty good football players over the years. Guys like Ernest Givens, Marion Butts, and James Wilder. They had to look hard to find him on the film. They had some excellent tight ends ahead of him. Josh Allen yanks down Kellen Mond after a gain of 2.
That's where you see the other part of Josh Allen's game. We know about him as a pass rusher and getting tackles behind the line of scrimmage. His ability to chase plays down from the backside. You cannot run slow developing plays away from him because he will hunt you down. And he did that time for a very short gain by Kellen Mond.
Deepest penetration of the game for the Texas A&M offense. They haven't made it to the red zone. There's a ball toward the end zone, and it's batted down. And there's Josh Allen showing that versatility, one of the best pass rushers in the country, with beautiful coverage near the end zone.
He's running the underneath coverage on the tight end Sternberger. They anticipated that that's where Kellen Mond was going with the football. And look at that big defensive end, outside linebacker, get down the field and get a hand on the football. He's providing underneath coverage for the safety Darius West and does a great job.
We mentioned he spent 3 years in high school in Alabama before he went back to his native New Jersey for his senior year of high school, and he was a wide receiver.
Yeah, all-state
in Alabama, all-state wide receiver. When he got back to New Jersey, his coaches said, "You'd be better
Texas A&M
as a defensive end and linebacker." And boy, was that a good move for him. It was kind of miffed. He said, "Hey, I was all-state in Alabama as a wide receiver." One of the best defensive ends, outside linebackers in the country in college football today.
Whether he's sacking the quarterback or batting batting down balls in the end zone. He got lost in the recruiting shuffle because he changed to defense as a 215-pound defensive end in high school in New Jersey. His only other offer besides Kentucky was Monmouth. And here he is making himself into one of the best players in the country. He went from 235 pounds to 262. He thanks his girlfriend because she started to become a vegan and had to do meal prep. And he said, I thank her for doing all the cooking, but I am not vegan.
He wants to be drafted higher than his sister. Naisha went number 19 in WNBA draft. Right now, he has some work to do, according to our Todd McShay, who loves him as the #1 outside linebacker, but has him an early second-round pick. Number 35 overall. Good throw. Mon, first down, first and goal. Jay Sternberger on the receiving end.
Sternberger does a great job against zone defense when he makes his outside break sitting down in between the two Kentucky defenders. That time there was no underneath coverage provided, and he found a nice hole in between the zone defenders, and Kellen Mond hit him with the football. Again, in this part of the field, he is a problem for a defense.
First time in the red zone for either team. Kentucky's touchdown was a 54-yarder. Travion Williams, big hole left side, and he's inside the 5. Chopped down by Darius West, who saved the touchdown.
Red zone touchdowns. Kentucky's defense has been outstanding. They've had 12 opponent drives in the red zone. Only 4 times have they scored touchdowns. And for Texas A&M, 17 out of 27 red zone possessions have resulted in a touchdown. Big opportunity here with 2nd and goal.
With 2.5 minutes to go in the half. Some lunging near the line, and the officials do stop it.
Before the snap, false start, number 81, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Yeah, you hate that. I mean, if you're a fan, if you're Jimbo Fisher particularly, because you got 2nd and goal on the 3, and you get movement by your tight end, and now you back it up. And you put yourself in a little bit more of a throw situation here on 2nd down. The option with the quarterback has been a pretty effective play so far.
He's a good runner. You mentioned his success against that terrific Alabama defense. Rushed for 98 yards against the Crimson Tide. Allen right in his face. And the throw a little bit off target. Looking for Courtney Davis with Lonnie Johnson in coverage. There is a flag down back behind the line of scrimmage.
I think it might have been Josh Allen for roughing the quarterback. He was working on the center, Eric McCoy. It was an inside move that time by Josh Allen, and he got his right arm up around the head area of the quarterback.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 41 defense. Half the distance to the goal from the previous spot, 1st down.
It's an outstanding inside move by Josh Allen. Watch him come all the way inside. The center tries to pick him up. The center actually held him. And there you see the right forearm up in the chest and neck area of the quarterback. Could have possibly been a holding call against him. Instead, it's a penalty against Josh Allen and a 1st down.
Some might call it football as well. I don't think Mark Stoops is going to like that when he gets a closer look at the film. Big call, 1st and goal just outside the 3. Colin Gillespie, the 12th man. Where's that number 12? The fullback trying to lead the way, and nowhere to go for Travion Williams with Derek Beatty up near the line.
Gillespie is still trying to learn how to block as a fullback. He's got all the physical talent and tools. Outstanding athlete, ball skills, speed, but just is not comfortable yet as a blocker.
Again, they didn't have fullbacks here under the previous coaching staff. He was a linebacker, former walk-on. The honor of wearing the number 12. Emblematic of the 12th man. Jimbo Fisher says he's so smart, sometimes he overthinks what his responsibility should be. They bring pressure at Mon. They didn't get to him. Corner ball up for grabs and incomplete. Courtney Davis, the target. Mike Edwards has had a nice first half for Kentucky. Had the coverage.
This part of the field, everything shrinks. You just don't have as much room to throw the football, and this length all the way across the Kentucky secondary. They've got size and length, and they make it very difficult to throw the football because of their length. think you got to give Kellen Mond a chance to run the ball here. I know it's third down. You've thrown on second down. I say you go quarterback run, let Travion Williams be the lead blocker.
Some sort of option, perhaps. Nope. Straight pass to the end zone. Caught.
Yeah.
Touchdown, Courtney Davis.
Saw him working on this play on practice on Thursday. A little out route. It's a timing route. He shows fade and then breaks out, and the quarterback is instructed throw it right to the pylon. The back coming out of the backfield held the safety in place. It's one-on-one coverage. And that's excellent execution by Kellen Mond and Courtney Davis for the touchdown.
Second touchdown of his sophomore season for Davis. We talked to Kellen Mond yesterday about the absence of Jamon Osmond, his former high school teammate and roommate at IMG Academy. Said who could step up? He said Courtney Davis could be really special. He's an excellent route runner. And Davis has 2 catches in this opening half and the A&M score. Seth Small has tied it with the extra point. And as expected, low scoring and close. Certainly expected more out of Travion Williams and Benny Snell, but these excellent run defenses doing their jobs. Week 5 Monday Night Football comes to you from the Big Easy. History could be made. Drew Brees is just 200 yards shy of Peyton Manning for the most career passing yards of all time. More than 71,000. He and the 3-1 Saints against Adrian Peterson. 2-1 Washington. Don't miss it. 8:15 Eastern on ESPN tomorrow night. Adrian Peterson revitalized in Washington.
A lot of people thought he was done last year, and made a nice rebound.
He never lost his ability to shake hands. The hardest, firmest handshake I've ever experienced last year when he was in Minnesota at the start of the year. We went for a meeting with him, and I honestly thought I had broken my hand.
Did you know going in you better be prepared for it? Because guys like that, you better be ready for it.
Yeah. He tried to do it again on the way out, and I just gave him the fist bump. Here's Adnan Verk after the touchback.
Sean, no surprise I have a feeble handshake. Coming up in the Mercedes-Benz halftime report, let you know about Notre Dame and their road test at Blacksburg. Also letting you know that LSU got swamped in Gainesville. Gators defense was fantastic, and Texas is back. No, seriously, they really are back. Join me, Jesse Palmer, and Joy Galloway. We'll see you at the half. Sean, fist bump back to you.
All right, Adnan, always great to be with you. Impressive what Texas has done. They had a really disappointing, almost hard to fathom opening loss to Maryland, with everything the Terrapins were dealing with going into that season opener. But they have rallied back, blew a 21-point lead in the 4th quarter, and then won on a last-second field goal. Terry Wilson is ripped down by Dalen Mack, one of Holly Rowe's favorite players in the country, at 6'1", and that's probably generous. 320 pounds.
Yeah, he's right here now. Terry Wilson has some time. He can't find an open receiver, and when he starts to leave the pocket, Dalen Mack is able to disengage from the block and take him down.
Mack's career really rejuvenated by the coaching change. Wilson steps into a long throw, looking for Dorian Baker, who was looking for a flag. Charles Oliver running in coverage. Dalen Mack, Todd, was a terrific player as a freshman, and then his performance dropped year to year. Here's the coverage.
Hand fighting, both guys pushing. I think a good no call on that play. The problem with throwing that ball, you stop the clock. It's 3rd down. If A&M gets a stop here, I think Jimbo Fisher will use a timeout. He's got 2 left, and maybe give his offense a chance to add some more points.
Eddie Graham said Kentucky's offense needed to be good in the early downs. It has not been. Just 119 yards of offense for the Cats. Wilson started to run, then threw it wide to Lynn Bowden. He's down at the 20, and will Jimbo
there's the timeout.
Call a timeout. He will. With 39 to go in the half.
You know, because Jimbo's thinking, look, we won the toss and deferred, so we're going to get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Let's see if we can really seize momentum in this low-scoring game. Force a punt.
Did not run during that last play. Please set the game clock to 32 seconds. 32 seconds, and it will start on my signal.
Perhaps there's a problem with it. because it's still not moving.
Please set the game clock to 32 seconds. It did not run on that previous play.
Now they're going to start the clock here.
No, it was a complete pass, and he was down.
Then I wouldn't snap the ball here if I'm Kentucky until that clock runs all the way down.
So Jimbo did not call the timeout. It was just the clock malfunction.
See, he thought it was an incomplete pass, and that's why he didn't call timeout.
He should call it now. Yeah, and he does. They lost 2 seconds. Looked like he was trying to call timeout. Now they lost 5 seconds. I don't know why he waited. I mean, it was pretty clear. The official explained to him. He announced, we're going to run it on my whistle. And it seemed like the official on the sideline was communicating that to Jimbo as well.
Texas A&M called timeout prior to the ready for play. Please reset the game clock to 32 seconds. This is their second charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
I thought he was trying to call timeout as soon as the play ended. And, you know, so I think this is right. Putting the clock back to 32 seconds. It won't start until the ball is kicked.
Friends, you can stream college football all season long on ESPN Plus. Start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app, which we have completely worn out today on this college football Saturday. Visit ESPNplus.com. Rashad Paul back for the punt from Max Duffy. These two punters have been tremendous here in the first half. They come after Duffy. He knew they were coming. He still got off a beauty, and a fair catch made at the 30-yard line with 26 seconds to go.
26 seconds, 1 timeout. So if you're Jimbo Fisher and Kellen Mond, you're thinking, let's see if we can get 1 first down here. If we can get a play and get a first down, then we can maybe be a little bit more aggressive, see if we can get in field goal range, and again try to seize momentum in a rather slow offensive football game.
These are two teams that lean heavily on the run. Kentucky came in averaging 254 rushing yards per game. They have 39. And the question I would ask you, Todd, I know both run defenses are good. Both defenses are geared to stop the terrific runner on the other team. But are they trying enough to get Snell and on the other side Williams going?
Well, I think they need to try more. I think you're right about that. I think we'll see that in the second half, particularly from Kentucky.
Travion Williams. Nice tackle in the open field by Mike Edwards. And A&M not in a huge hurry. They do have a timeout left. We're under 8 seconds to go now.
I kind of think Jimbo was ready to just take it to the locker room.
And I think that's what he just said to Mond. Although now with 5 seconds, 3rd down and 8, would you launch one?
Well, you either launch one or, yeah, I mean, if now the clock is stopped, that's probably what you would see them do.
It's not a timeout, so the play clock is running here as Mond heads back with the play.
He's got a strong arm, so he can probably get that ball down near the goal line, or at least the 10-yard line or so. He's going to run it.
Travion Williams, a little stat padding late in the half. Out of bounds, but out of time, and there is a flag down back at the 33-yard line behind the play.
We got offensive holding. It'll be end of the half.
Holding, number 73 offense. Penalties decline. End of the second quarter.
(7-7) at the half. See if these two running teams can get the running games going in the second half. But first, back to Adnan Burke in the studio.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. Mercedes.
They flip it to Lynn Bowden with some running room. He can fly inside the 20, inside the 10, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Kentucky. Straight pass to the end zone. Caught. Yeah. Touchdown, Courtney Davis. And we welcome you back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton by Hilton, Kyle Field in College Station, Texas, on a warm night. Defensive struggle, Kentucky and Texas A&M. Tied at 7 as we head for the second half. Sean McDonough and Todd Blackledge. After that touchdown by Lynn Bowden from 54 yards, Kentucky did not have another first down in the half. 3 3-and-outs after. What do they need to do to get a little offense here?
I think they got to, what's that saying? You got to dance with who brung you. I think they got to go back to giving the ball to Benny Snell. 6 carries in the first half. You know, he's too much a part of what they want to do. That's their identity. It'd be interesting to see if they get their center back here in the second half. But they got to get back to their physical style. And A&M, you know, Travion Williams, he had 29 carries last week, only 10 carries in the first half of this game. So I think we have to see more of him as well.
6 carries for 23 yards rushing for Snell, who averages 128 rushing yards per game, leading the SEC 7th in the country. Williams averaging better than 116 yards per game rushing. 2nd in the SEC. Way below his numbers with 48. Grant McInnes kicks off for Kentucky. Drives it to Jayshon Corbin, who takes a knee. A moment ago, Holly Rowe with Coach Mark Stoops.
Well, Coach, normally Benny Snell averages about 23 carries a game, just 6 in the first half. What's going on with him?
We didn't have enough plays. We only had 27 plays, so we had 2 3-and-outs back-to-back there. We got behind the chains. That's not helping us, so we got to move the football, but he does need to get his touches.
Coach, you've been great on defense, but that last drive they gained some momentum. What can you do better on Kellen Mond when he runs with the ball?
He's a good football player. We got to continue to mix it up. When we get our pressures, you know, get them down on the ground, and they're converting some 3rd downs on us, so it's a tough game.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
It is indeed. Kellen Mond handed it off to Travion Williams, and he's free. And a big tackle by the safety, Darius Wester. He might have been off to the races. It's a 19-yard run.
Nice job by Sternberger. Watch the tight end kind of crash down in here. Travion Williams shows vision. He hits it inside, then busts it outside the tight end's block and into the second level for the first play of the 3rd quarter.
And on the field for that play at linebacker, number 56, Cash Daniel, their leading tackler for the year, who could not play in the first half because of a targeting ejection. Second half of last week's game against South Carolina. Mond is smothered by Jamar Watson. And now there are whistles. For a moment there weren't any. And Kentucky was looking to take it into the end zone. Slow to get up is Keaton Sutherland, the guard.
Well, Watson was working on the other tight end, Trevor Wood, right here. Watson's going to just beat him. It's a bull rush on a tight end. He's going to overpower him on his way to the quarterback, drive him off, and then get to the quarterback, Kellen Mond. And there you see the injury to Sullivan, who got rolled up on by his own player at the end of the play.
He's a veteran. This is his 29th career start.
Connor Landfear in now, the backup at right guard.
Number 70. He's also experienced. He started 11 games last year. Mond flagged down. Josh Allen indicated he was being held as he extended his arms when Mond ran away from him.
No, I think this is going to be a hands to the face on Kentucky. Josh Allen thought it was down. Yeah, maybe there's both, because there was definitely hands to the face on the inside against Kentucky.
Personal foul, hands to the face, number 99, defense. Penalty is 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Yeah, it was right in the middle of the screen. 99 working on 73. You see that head snap back, and there it is.
No
he
doubt.
just never let go of it.
No wonder there were 2 flags, and it was blatant.
Adrian Middleton, the guilty party.
I think Mark Stoops wanted what you saw at the end of the play, a hold. He felt Josh Allen was being held as Mond ran away from him. Allen thought he was. He threw his arms out to the side as if to say, where's the flag for holding?
A little momentum here for the A&M offense. Start the 3rd quarter.
Clearly trying to get Travion Williams going. He's inside the 30-yard line. Darius West, the safety, another tackle.
Good job by the center that time. Eric McCoy getting a nice block on Jordan Jones, the linebacker. That forced the safety, West, to have to come down to make the tackle.
Jimbo Fisher thinks McCoy is going to be a pro, the center, just a junior from Lufkin, Texas. And movement. Maybe it was Connor Lanphier, the man who just came in for the injured Keaton Sullivan.
Start, number 73 and 70 offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Yeah, that's just a lack of concentration and a critical penalty. You've got momentum. You're making plays. You're making first downs. You're in Kentucky territory. You have 2nd down and 6. And now you get a 5-yard penalty that moves you back to 2nd and 11. You were ahead of the chains the whole drive, and now you're behind the chains on this 2nd down play. Just a costly, needless penalty by A&M.
They're back on the 34-yard line. Mond in the flat. Williams, a missed tackle, and that's costly for Kentucky. Jordan Griffin made the tackle, but Derek Beatty whiffed when he had a chance to drop that play for a loss.
Yeah, Beatty's in good position, but he just put his head down. It's almost like he closed his eyes and put his head down and hoped he'd hit legs, and he missed. And Travion Williams does what all good backs do. They make a guy miss in space and turn it into a positive gain. What's your old partner spiel when you say keep those eyes up? He didn't have his eyes up on that tackle, and they turned it into a good play.
Texas A&M 50% against one of the best 3rd down defensive teams in the country. Travion Williams hasn't been able to get free running the ball. They've been throwing it to him. He had just 6 catches all season entering tonight's game. That's his 4th tonight. Good for a first down.
Nice job by Kellen Mond. Now watch the linebacker. He's going to get screened off by the tight end. He's responsible for the back coming out of the backfield. That's Cash Daniel, who sat out the whole first half. Got out of position. Kellen Mond read the blitz, got rid of the football under duress, and they picked up the first down.
Texas A&M trying to take the lead for the first time tonight. Whoa, trouble with the snap. Mond had to get on it, and a big loss back to the 30 with Mike Edwards approaching quickly.
Well, we saw a costly penalty that they were able to overcome. Now a bad snap by their leader McCoy, high and to the right, and Kellen Mond does all that he can do, and that's just fall on the football.
Jimbo Fisher kept one offensive coach from the previous staff, and it was Jim Turner, the highly regarded offensive line coach. He's an admirer of Turner's work, as many are. He's considered to be one of the best, so they didn't have to change their terminology up front with the veteran group. Rare misfire by McCoy. A throwback, Travion Williams. Good tackle by that man again, Josh Allen, to stop it at the 26.
Now that's keeping your eyes up and making a sure tackle. Because if he doesn't make this tackle, Travion Williams is going to pick up another first down. He's dropped in coverage. He sees the play, reads it, gets off the block, and makes the tackle. That's outstanding work by Josh Allen out in the open field. I would expect to see him rush the passer on this play. 3rd down.
Snapped it with 2. Mond takes the short throw. Chase Sternberger and a good tackle by Lonnie Johnson for a short gain. They're way short of the first down, and the field goal unit comes out for Jimbo Fisher.
Great momentum to start this drive. Then they hurt themselves. They had the penalty. They overcame that. Then the bad snap they were not able to overcome. And now they have to settle for a field goal attempt.
It wasn't a great snap, but you quarterback, I mean, I thought Mond was a little casual trying to field that with one hand high and to the right.
Maybe so.
A little more intensity, a little more effort. Here's Seth Small, true freshman from Katy, Texas, near Houston. That one, Houston has a problem. Off the upright and no good. He stepped in when the returning kicker Daniel LaCamera was injured in the 2nd game of the year against Clemson. Broke his foot in that game. And Small has now made just 1 for his last 4. Still tied at 7 in the 3rd quarter. Oh, crazy day around college football. A couple of losses for Mississippi State. Can Benny Snell get going? Leading rusher in the SEC. Entering tonight's game has 23 yards on 6 carries. First possession of the second half for Kentucky in a 7-7 game. They have 5 first downs on the night. There's Snell turning the corner. And he's shoved out by Charles Oliver after a gain of 9.
Well, the good news, too, is their center, Drake Jackson, is back in the lineup to start the second half. That moves Bunchy Stallings to his normal right guard position. Again, the strength of this Kentucky offensive line is the center and the 2 guards, and that was a great run to start their first possession of the second half.
You can see Texas A&M, a lot of men around the line of scrimmage, determined to stop Benny Snell. They bring pressure off the corner. Wilson threw in that direction. Terry on target to Dorian Baker, just enough for the first down.
That's just a simple RPO read for the quarterback. There's a run play called. The offensive line is blocking run, and if he sees too many numbers in the box, he's going to switch to that quick throw. And now we have a different alignment, Wildcat, which I guess is the perfect team to run a Wildcat formation. Snell behind the center, and Terry Wilson is out as a wide receiver.
Snell surges forward to the 39-yard line, and the clock goes so quickly, and that's typical of both of these teams. They're 2 of the best teams in the country in time of possession.
Well, there's another typical Benny Snell run. It didn't look like there was going to be much. Texas A&M knew he was going to run out of that formation. He still gets 5 yards or 4 yards, and that's a win on first down if you're Kentucky. You're aiming for 4 yards a play or better.
First down efficiency, that's the terminology Eddie Graham, the coordinator, used. They want at least 4 on every first down. They got 4 on that one. Wilson, the runner, stumbled ahead short of the first down. It's a big night for Terry. This is the closest game he'll play to his native Oklahoma City, and a lot of family members, including his mom Louise, here tonight. Told us he needed about 25 tickets for all the folks who made the trip down from Oklahoma City.
When you have a quarterback and a runner like Benny Snell, either one, you've got to play really honest if you're Texas A&M on this third down and short, because either one of them is capable of running this football for a first down. Got to be very sound and disciplined in defending those 2 guys. It took too long at the line of scrimmage, Sean.
False start, number 71, offense.
Just too long at the line of scrimmage. We saw A&M do it, and now we've seen Kentucky do it. And you got 3rd and short. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. You're having enough trouble moving the football consistently. And then there was a late flag after the play was dead, and this might go against A&M for a late hit or just some personal foul at the end of the play. The initial flag was for movement against Kentucky.
Mark Curls, the referee, leading this SEC crew.
There are multiple fouls. Before the snap, false start, number 71 offense. That penalty's 5 yards, still third down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 71 offense, number 54 defense. Those fouls offset. It is third down. That was their first unsportsmanlike conduct fouls of the game.
I think he meant 52 defense, just from that beach.
The foul was on number 52 defense.
Just woofing. No, nothing physical, just verbal. Referee's trying to get in the middle of it and calm everybody down. Nice move by Dalen Mack, also the senior, getting in the face of his teammate and saying, hey, look, we can't afford that right now. We got him where we want him. 3rd and 8. Let's not complicate the situation.
Wilson running away from Matabike, running toward the marker and doesn't get there. Donovan Wilson, the veteran safety, closed fast, and it'll be a punt for Kentucky on 4th down.
Yeah, at first, when Terry Wilson broke the pocket, it looked like he was going to have enough room. Here's Donovan Wilson right here, the safety. Watch him read the scramble and then just make a beeline to the quarterback. Right here, it looks like Wilson might be able to turn this into a 1st down. And Donovan Wilson meets him full speed and knocks him short of the marker.
A lot of milling about on the far sideline. It's an injured player, a Texas A&M player on the Kentucky sideline. Tyrell Dotson, key member of the A&M defense.
So if we and Chick-fil-A Nuggets. Tonight is Nugget Night.
And some good looks at tonight's action through our progressive pylon cam. Not a lot of action near those pylons, but a defensive struggle. Just 138 yards of offense for Kentucky, 217 for Texas A&M. And here's Max Duffy.
I think these two punters, the more the game goes like this, become a bigger factor.
False start. Offense, number 28. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Both defenses playing pretty stout. And
how
both
about those
punters,
numbers?
Yeah.
Duffy's punted 5 times for 51. He's by far the worst punter on the field tonight. Braden Mann averaging almost 66-yard punt, including the 3rd longest in school history, an 82-yarder. Not like these are wind aided. There's not a lot of wind in the stadium. It's kind of a crosswind. They're just bombing it in each direction. Rashad Paul. Nifty return, weaving through a lot of traffic, and they finally got him down at the 27-yard line. 11-yard return of a 49-yard punt.
Well, we talked a lot about Josh Allen, and he has delivered tonight. One of the premier pass rushers in all of college football. He gets here, almost knocks the ball loose. But he's done a little bit of everything, not just rush the passer. You can't run away from him on slow developing plays. He'll chase it down. And then we've seen his versatility dropping in pass coverage as well. Underneath the tight end corner route, gets a hand on the football. Josh Allen has been everything we expected to see and more tonight, doing a little bit of everything.
He said the coach at Monmouth was very upset when he told him he wasn't going to take the scholarship offer. You can understand why. Mon held in there and got it off to Jay Sternberger. Does some nice work after the catch. And a big gain for Texas A&M, 18 yards.
This is a bust on Kentucky's secondary. Nobody picked up the tight end. There was a blitz. I'm wondering if it was Cash Daniel. Again, the linebacker, he's in the middle of the field guarding air, and nobody picks up the tight end. A little confusion between the corner and the linebacker, and the tight end is free on the outside, and Kellen Mond found him with the football.
Jordan Jones, a big hit on Mond, who completed the pass. They're 5 yards shy of midfield, and plenty of running room for Jay-Sean Corbin. Chopped down by Jordan Griffin at the Kentucky 39-yard line.
Watch the whole right side of the line just move to the right. They're just stretching this play along with the back. The center gets a key block, and nice cut by Corbin. He did not waste time. Once he saw a crease, he got his shoulders pointed upfield and ran right in there behind Eric McCoy for a nice run. And again, momentum early in the drive now for the A&M offense.
And a problem on the handoff, and Mond got it back. Jordan Jones had a shot at it. He was near Mond again.
This is obviously a read play for Mond. He puts it in the belly, and then just the back has to assume he's getting the ball. So he'll clamp down on it to take the football. And I think that might have been Mond, maybe just a little hesitation, and very lucky that he was able to fall on the football. And once again, they set themselves back after good momentum early in the drive.
No turnovers in the game. There have been some close calls. Mond near the line of scrimmage, runs for a yard. Cordell Looney to stop. Here's Adnan Verk. A shockingly bad start to the year for Nebraska, seemingly on their way to 0-5. Jordan Jones, key player for Kentucky on the field. They're looking at his right leg. Senior from Youngstown, Ohio, 27 career starts. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to update you on Texas A&M's Tyrell Dodson, their linebacker who'd gone out on the previous series. They kept him in the injury tent for a long time. He's come out, they've rewrapped his ankles, and he's over here on the sideline sprinting and trying to get loose so he can get back in this game. I tell you, that would be huge for Texas A&M. I've been told he is the unquestioned leader of the team. Everyone on this team listens when he talks, and that would be huge to get him back in this ball game.
He's obviously a key part to that A&M defense, as is this guy who's on the field right now, walking off. Jordan Jones will have to be out for this play anyway. On 3rd and long.
This is the kind of night you could see some cramping. Still hot and humid. Temperature near 90 here in College Station today in the triangle between Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio. Still 82 degrees here at 8:20 in the evening.
Well, you got the two key guys right here together, Sternberger and then Courtney Davis. Watch some kind of combination between those two guys on this 3rd and long play. Kentucky showing right now 2 deep safeties, which could mean the middle of the field could be open.
Mond has completed his last 7 passes. They started out 1 for 6 on 3rd down, 5 for 6 since. He got hit as he threw, and it was a flutter ball. Jamar Watson with the good rush. Courtney Davis, the intended receiver.
Jamar Watson has really had a nice football game. You know, obviously everybody paying attention to Josh Allen, and Jamar Watson, who plays some outside linebacker, but on passing downs he gets as a defensive end and outside rusher. He's had a very active game tonight for this Wildcat defense.
Well, this is going to kill Braden Mann's average. He's punted 3 times. His shortest punt is 50, but he has no room here. He's going to try to knock it down inside the 10-yard line.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, they're saying touchback.
Javon Fuller tried to rescue it.
The player can go into the end zone as long as the ball doesn't cross.
There's also a flag on the goal line. Let's bring in Bill Lamagnier.
Todd's exactly right, but the ball appeared that it did cross the goal line and he knocked it back, which is legal to do, keeps it live,
right,
but it still results in a touchback. I didn't see what the flag went down for, though, unless the player protested the call.
Number 28 kicking team went out of bounds on his own, came back in during the down. The penalty is 5 yards from the succeeding spot, which is a touchback to the 20, out to the 25, 1st down, Kentucky. Timeout.
Good job of explanation there.
Yes, it was. 3:24 to go. 3rd quarter, tied at 7. Stadium in the country, capacity of more than 102,000. They've watched the Texas A&M defense do a very nice job on Benny Snell. Part of it is way below the number of carries he typically gets in the 3 SEC games prior to tonight, averaging 27 rushes per game, just 8 tonight.
Yeah. And part of it is what Mark Stoops told Holly. I mean, Texas A&M controlling the time of possession, running more plays. But I still think with the game 7-7, I mean, it's still time to feed the ball to Benny Snell.
A&M has run 51 plays to 32 for Kentucky, almost an 8-minute advantage in time of possession for A&M. Benny Snell gets very little. Otaro Alaka made the tackle. Matter of fact, Texas A&M started the night #1 in the country in time of possession among the Power 5 conference schools, 5th in the country overall.
And 3rd in the country in their run defense, and they have been as good as advertised. They're very stout up front. They've got linebackers that play downhill. And Dodson is back in the game for A&M, which is big for the Aggies.
Terry Wilson handed it off. Snell gets 2. Not only did Texas A&M spend a lot of money to bring Jimbo Fisher here. They wanted a coach that could win a national championship. He's one of the 4 active coaches who's won one at the FBS level. but they spent a lot of money to bring Mike Elko, the defensive coordinator here from Notre Dame. He had been at Wake Forest prior to that. Jimbo Fisher coached against him in the ACC and said, I just always admired what a great job his defenses did. And they're working together and quite effectively here at Texas A&M. Third down and 9. Look out, Terry Wilson. Sidesteps the rush of Matabike. Now has a chance for a first down, but he's tripped up. Another open field stop by Donovan Wilson.
For the second time, we've seen Terry Wilson leave the pocket, unable to find an open receiver downfield. The protection breaks down, and when he leaves the pocket, it looks initially like he's going to have enough for the first down. Picks up one block from Benny Snell, but then Donovan Wilson, one of the surest tacklers on this football team, stops him short again.
Here's Max Duffy, averaging nearly 51 per punt on 6 punts. Rashad Paul standing back at his 24-yard line for A&M.
Jeez.
These return men might want to back up. That drove him back about 13 yards to make the catch. And he brought it back to the 21. 57-yard punt, 11-yard return. Here's Adnan Virk. The top 10 teams go down. Undefeated's Oklahoma and LSU no longer undefeated, meaning there are 12 teams without a loss in FBS football, including Kentucky.
And that Kentucky win in Gainesville looks a little bit better now,
Sure
with the
does.
Gators at what, 5-1?
5-1.
Yeah.
It's the only loss for Florida. And it was a convincing win. Second game of the year, 27-16. Mark Stoops said we're just going to keep knocking down doors, and that was one of them, ending that 31-year drought. Good tackle, because it looked like Courtney Davis might get away after he made the catch, but Lonnie Johnson wouldn't let him escape.
Throw the ball on first down. Give yourself a lot of options on second and short. We've seen Texas A&M start out drives, have momentum, and then kill themselves with penalties or bad snaps or almost fumbles. They've been their own worst enemy once they've gotten into Kentucky territory here in the third quarter so far.
Final minute of the third quarter. Travion Williams, tough run. Couldn't spin away from Darius West, and they won't have to snap it again. And given how they like to chew up the clock, you would think A&M wouldn't snap it again here in the third quarter.
Travion Williams is not as big as Benny Snell. He's 5'9", 200 pounds, but he's tough enough to run in between the tackles. But he's a guy that they want to get on the perimeter a little bit more to use his breakaway speed.
They do snap it. And in trouble, Kellen Mond throws on the run and throws it away. And that takes us to the end of the third quarter.
The quarterback was outside the tackle box, through the line, through beyond the line of gain. There's no foul for intentional grounding. That's the end of the third quarter.
On to the fourth quarter we go in this SEC battle. Kentucky and A&M tied at 7. It's a cool place. Kyle Field, home of the 12th man, College Station, Texas. We welcome you back to ESPN College Football Prime Time, presented by Hampton by Hilton. Kentucky 5-0, trying to go to 6-0 for the first time since 1950 in a 7-7 game. 2nd and 10, A&M. Kellen Mond on target. Travion Williams, not much of a receiver prior to tonight. He had 45 career catches in 3 years. The crowd thought he got horse-collared down at the 49-yard line of Kentucky. It's 18 yards and a first down.
Well, he's kind of an outlet receiver here. He's a secondary choice. Good read by Kellen Mond, and then tough running once he had his hands on the football by Travion Williams. And once again, A&M with some momentum and into Kentucky territory. Controlling the time of possession and 20 more plays than the Kentucky Wildcats have run.
7-minute edge in the time of possession. It's Travion Williams surging down to the 43.
And the other thing to keep in mind here, Sean, because of that, because of the way Kentucky has played in their 5-game winning streak, controlling the clock, running the football, their defense hasn't had to play nearly as many plays or be on the field as long as they are in this game tonight. It's hot. They're in Texas. They're in the fourth quarter right now. And fatigue for this Kentucky defense could become a factor.
And so many of these spread teams run up to the line and snap it quickly. Texas A&M in no hurry. As a result of this style, it's been a much more rested defense than in years gone by. Nice play by Mike Edwards. Travion Williams taken down. Last year, that defense for Texas A&M was on the field for an average of 72 plays per game. This year, because the offense holds the ball, it's down to 55, fewest in the SEC.
Big third down play right here.
That defense facing few plays because the offense stays on the field. 13 minutes to go.
The two edge rushers have been a factor. Josh Allen and Jamar Watson. They're on either side of the formation here.
Allen quick off the ball, but it's a quick throw, and there's a big mistake. Interception by Darius West. First turnover of the night by either team, and West brought it back to the 49-yard line.
The ball kind of surprised Hezekiah Jones. Hezekiah Jones has not played very much. It's a hard throw by Kellen Mond, and it surprises the receiver. He's not ready to catch the football. It goes off his hands, and when a ball goes up in the air like that, normally something bad happens. The first turnover, and Kentucky makes a big play.
On ESPN. On a game like this, sometimes it's the mistake that plays a huge part in determining the outcome. First turnover of the night is the interception by Darius West, the fourth of his career. And on first down, Terry Wilson incomplete for Benny Snell.
Just a wasted play. You've got good field position. You've got to capitalize. And Kentucky is in desperate need of somebody to make a big play. Explosive plays, runs over 12 yards or passes over 20. Kentucky has one in the ball game. That was the Bowden touchdown.
And one first down since the first quarter. Here's Lynn Bowden in the field, weaving his way through the defense. Flag down behind the line of scrimmage.
Actually, it was kind of right in the pit area where you might expect holding. It's going to negate one of the best plays Kentucky has had the whole ball game.
Holding, number 72 offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay second down.
Called E.J. Price, the starting left tackle. Here he is right here. Again, we just said Kentucky desperately needing a big play. It was the end. I think had he not tried to take him down at the end of the play, it probably wouldn't have gotten called. But a self-inflicted wound that time for the Kentucky offense.
He didn't think he held. He was looking up to see a replay. Price sat out last year, transferred from Southern California. 7 Kentucky penalties. A&M penalized 4 times. 2nd and 20. Terry Wilson dumps it over the middle, and Snell got belted from behind by Tyrell Dodson.
He got belted because the ball was so softly thrown. Terry Wilson's trying to get it over the line to his outlet receiver, but he just floats this ball. And because the ball floated in the air, Dodson had time to react. Whether his ankle's 100% or not, he had plenty of time to get there to deliver the big hit. I mean, that's the kind of throw you make on a jump pass in the end zone, but not in the middle of the field.
Crowd going crazy. Dreadful offensive night for Kentucky, but they're all about just continuing to win. Can they make a play now? Wilson, Snell didn't even see it coming. And it's an incomplete pass with Otaro Alaka moving in to cover Snell and wallop him, perhaps, if he made the catch.
What a response by the Aggie defense. Their offense turns it over. Kentucky has great field position. And they go 3 and out and go backwards. And A&M's going to get the football right back. They are not built to play behind the chains. I mean, that's obvious. The coaches told us that coming in, and they've been behind the chains for most of the night. Second and long, third and long. Kentucky has not won football games that way.
Max Duffy. Another good punt, well away from the return man. It drove Rashad Paul well to his right, but he has lots of running room, and he's out to midfield. Out of bounds at the 49, chased out by the punter Duffy, who kicked it 49, but Paul brought it back 43.
Gillespie at number 12 is going to get away with the possible block in the back. Watch number 12 right there. He kind of gets away with the block in the back, and that springs the return man. And a big, big punt return by the Aggies.
Old-fashioned, hard-hitting defensive struggle here at Kyle Field tonight, and the special teams play for Texas A&M means this is the first time either team has started a drive across the 50-yard line. They're at the Kentucky 48. After the big punt return by Rashad Paul, here's Travion Williams trying to find some room. He gets two.
Sean, we were talking about this game just felt like it's just been a back and forth slugfest, punt, 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 that it was going to take some kind of momentum shifting play to turn it in one team's favor. We saw the turnover. That's a momentum shifting play. Kentucky was not able to capitalize on that turnover. Now we see a punt return, which is another big time momentum switch. Can Texas A&M take advantage of that now? You don't know how many of those kind of plays in a game like this you're going to get, and you have to capitalize.
Kentucky has not crossed midfield except for the 54-yard touchdown play. That's how anemic the Wildcats offense has been tonight. Mond off the hands of one receiver and into the paws of Jay Sternberger. Touchdown, Texas A&M. What a revelation Sternberger has been. Started his college career at Kansas. Played very little there. Wound up in junior college where he was a third-string tight end. They were desperate to find tight ends. When Jimbo Fisher's staff took over this program, there weren't any in the program. Sternberger's been tremendous. And now some pushing and shoving that involves Sternberger after the extra point is good.
The ball was intended to go underneath to Cameron Buckley, number 14. It's a pretty good throw. Doesn't make the catch, and just like you draw it up right into the hands of Sternberger, a missed tackle by Jordan Griffin, the safety, and Texas A&M takes advantage of the momentum play.
Outcome brought to you by ExxonMobil. This was certainly unexpected for Jay Sternberger. The pass wasn't coming to him originally.
Yeah, he was expecting to see the guy in front of him catch it, Buckley, but he'll take it. And again, a position that wasn't even on the roster last year. The leading receiver for A&M now, the tight end, Jay Sternberger.
It's his 5th touchdown catch of the year and ties the single-season record at Texas A&M for a tight end with Rod Bernstein and Jamie McCoy. Here's Adnan Verk. And that's one of the toughest games remaining for Notre Dame. Their schedule gets easier thereafter, you would think. Some tough games along the way. Can Kentucky find some offense? They're sputtering to start. It looked like they moved before the snap, and it'll go to 1st and 15.
False start, number 65 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Here's Holly.
Well, guys, this is the first time Kentucky has trailed in the 4th quarter this season, and their offense was trying to get each other hyped up here on the sideline. Ironically, it was Bunchy Stallings who was so hyped up over here, telling guys, we've got to be tougher, but that kind of a penalty is not the way to get things going right now.
Yeah, that's not mental toughness. Those are mental mistakes, and the 8th penalty of the ball game for Kentucky.
5 3-and-outs in the last 6 possessions. Wilson hasn't been asked to throw the ball much in crunch time because, as Holly said, they haven't been behind late in the games. He told us last night he believes if they have to make plays at the end through the air, he can do it. They stick with Benny Snell, and on 1st and 15, he got a yard, by far the lowest running total of his season so far, 38 yards on 11 carries.
Take a look at how difficult it has been for Kentucky tonight. Again, the #3 running defense in college football, Texas A&M, and they have really handled this offensive line and running back Benny Snell tonight.
Wilson's 9 out of 16 for 82 yards passing and a touchdown. A lot of that was after the catch by Bowden. He cannot escape.
Kingsley Keke is a guy who is playing really well right here. He's playing as a defensive end. He's been an inside tackle and a defensive end. He beats the left tackle, E.J. Price. This is the guy that went this year from 323 pounds down to 287, kind of transformed his body and is a much more active player in the 4th quarter than he was a year ago.
Dropped his body fat by about 9%. Here comes a blitz off the corner. It's a screen to the other side to Snell with blockers, and he's down 4 yards short of the first down.
See, that's a good play, but they've been behind the chain so much that it's just not enough to get a new set of downs. It's an effective play. It was a well-executed play, but at 3rd and 13 or 14, it's just not enough.
There's Dalen Mack, another guy who got himself in much better shape for his senior season. Coaching staff said they really had to try to help him re-find his love of the game. His dominant player in high school, tremendous freshman year, and then seemingly lost interest with each year thereafter. He is back and a factor. 8 minutes to go as Max Duffy sends a hook skyward, and Rashad Paul the fair catch at the 24. 45-yard punt. This season for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to that university's general scholarship fund. We thank Allstate. $99,829 on hand here at Kyle Field tonight, watching a defensive battle in Texas A&M leading 14-7 with 8 minutes to go.
If you're a Kentucky fan, I think this is the most important possession of the ball game for your defense. They can't afford to let Texas A&M move the football, obviously not score, but not even flip the field, because their offense has had so much trouble. They've got to get a good stop here and get the ball to their offense with some decent field position.
Kellen Mond out of the pistol, gave it to Travion Williams, and he's yanked down almost immediately. Jamar Watson and DeAndre Square. Here's Adnan. All right, Adnan, thank you.
When you're undefeated, you're going to get everybody's best shot when you get to this point in the season.
Kellen Mond steps into the throw. Kendrick Rogers stumbled as he went to turn upfield. Might have cost him the first down. And here's a very big 3rd down with Texas A&M eating up the clock all night.
It's a big target right in the middle of the field, almost like a tight end sized body. Did a nice job of showing his numbers to the quarterback, Kellen Mond, and Kellen Mond stuck it on.
Will Benny Snell get another chance to be a difference maker in this game? Will likely get the ball back. He hopes they're just down by 7 when they do. Defense has been outstanding again tonight for Kentucky. The 3 SEC games prior to tonight, Florida scored 16, Mississippi State 7, South Carolina 10. A&M has just 14. Mond lunging for the first down, and it looks like he has it.
Depends on the spot. He reached the ball out to get it. Josh Allen did a nice job of chasing the play down, but Kellen Mond, excellent effort stretching the ball out. Outruns Josh Allen. Watch the end. Sticks that ball out over the yard to get a tough, hard-earned first down by Kellen Mond. And the clock continues to go, and that Kentucky defense stays on the field. That's now 63 offensive plays for A&M to 41 for Kentucky.
Travion Williams, a little more running room as he went to cut near the 40-yard line. Phil Hoskins made the tackle. Number 92 has come back from major surgery on each shoulder to be a factor on this defensive line as a junior out of Toledo.
The reason this possession and that last third down play was so huge for Kentucky defense is their offense just has not shown the ability to make any big plays, any chunk plays, or have some kind of a sustained drive. They just can't afford to give up more field to this A&M team.
Aggies milking the clock. Travion Williams spins ahead. Hoskins again on the tackle after Jamar Watson had a chance to stop him close to the line and couldn't wrestle him down.
We talked to Jimbo Fisher. It's pretty interesting talking to him. One of the things he feels like they're still trying to teach and educate this team on is what it takes to win, understanding situations of games. Now, he's an offensive play caller. This is not the kind of game that he loves necessarily. They haven't been explosive, but they're in a position to win. They were in a position to win the Clemson game and didn't do it. This is a game that they're trying to do the right things to find a way to win.
Reading his lips, looked like he was asking probably Daryl Dickey, should I call a timeout? And that's what they're going to do. Let the play clock run all the way down.
First charge timeout, Texas A&M.
Understand the situation of the game. They're into the 4-minute type of offense and what it takes to win when you're ahead by 7.
Some of it already. It says it is tremendous.
Yeah. Look forward to watching it.
Of course, usually by this time of the year, the Kentucky fans are looking forward to basketball, but this football team has captured the hearts of Wildcat fans in the Commonwealth, trying to go to 6-0. They need a stop on 3rd down and 1. A&M leading.
Wow, almost fumbled that snap.
Yeah, he's in trouble. Mond lost the football. It got batted away.
Oh my
Kentucky has it. It's Darius West, and the undefeated season is still alive and thriving in the Commonwealth. They're an extra point away from a tie.
I can't stress enough how different it is taking snaps under center when you've never done it. Watch the bobbled snap first. That blows up the timing of the play. He doesn't get the fake, and then he doesn't secure the football at the end of the play. And Kentucky's defense, which has played valiantly tonight, not only gets their second turnover, but turns it into points that the offense has not been able to manufacture. Wow.
Well, the offense hasn't done a thing. Derek Beatty knocked it out. 2 veterans in that secondary. Travion Williams is injured.
He was trying to make a tackle on the sideline. Sean, when you are under the center as a quarterback and you're in a short yardage or a goal line play, the center usually has a difficult block, and you have to ride his rear end a little bit longer than a normal play. Again, Kellen Mond, this is his first year of taking snaps under center, and 2 times we've seen him in short yardage situations not get a clean snap. That time it really backfired on him.
And once he did get it, he certainly needed to protect the ball better than he did. He's carrying it like a loaf of bread in a situation where the only thing you really can't do is what they did. Let the defense score for Kentucky, because it looks like they could play all night, and the Kentucky offense won't even get across midfield.
Right, exactly. Yeah. The worst thing that could happen was what happened. In the 2 games they lost, turnovers have been the difference. Here's the end of the play. Travion Williams trying to make a touchdown saving tackle. Lands hard on that left shoulder.
Let's hope it's not a serious injury. Terrific running back, a team leader. Very impressive young man. We met with Travion last night. Raised for a while by his grandfather, then by his aunt and uncle in Houston. When the floodwaters hit Houston last year, his family had to be rescued off the roof of their house by air. Doesn't look to be in significant pain as he got to his feet. Now here's the extra point to tie the game, and it is good by the senior Miles Butler.
How about the work by Darius West staying in bounds? After the missed tackle by Travion Williams, he's got to do some fancy footwork. There's the bobble. Kellen Mond just got discombobulated on the play and didn't secure the football. And Darius West, watch him stay in bounds, because there's no guarantee their offense was going to score. He takes it upon himself and says, let the defense handle this one. Eric McCoy, the center, tried to pick it up instead of just falling on it. And Kentucky, what a play.
By Darius West, veteran, arrived there back in 2014 of Lima, Ohio. And to look at the huge play through the progressive pylon cam.
Now, if you're Kentucky's defense, you just made a big play, but you got to come right back on the field. And now if you're Kellen Mond and Texas A&M, you shake that off. You still got 4 minutes and 17 seconds. That's an eternity. And you got a tie football game.
Well, you mentioned -2 in each of their 2 losses to Alabama and Clemson. -2 tonight. Short kickoff. And Rashad Paul out of bounds just across the 25. Adnan. And how about this? Travion Williams, Adnan, back on the field after down for quite a while. Tried to prevent the defensive touchdown by Kentucky by making a tackle. Out there on the field, he's had a career high 5 receptions tonight. And he started to find a little rhythm in the running game as well. Up to 87 yards rushing. Averaging 4.6 tonight. He averages 6 coming in. Here's pressure on Mond, who tries to throw it away with Jordan Jones on him.
He was not out of the tackle box.
And the flag is down.
He was not out of the tackle box, and if the ball didn't cross the line of scrimmage, that's intentional grounding.
Number 11 offense was inside the tackle box, through the passage in there with no eligible receiver. Penalties, loss of down to the spot of the foul. Second down.
I think it was Jordan Jones who came on an inside blitz untouched. Watch number 34 come in here on the blitz. Nobody picks him up, and Kellen Mond, trying to get rid of the football, gets called for the penalty. Good delayed rush by Jordan Jones forced that penalty.
He's been a factor tonight. He's been in the face of Mond several times. Made a big play for them last week at Kroger Field in Lexington early in that game against South Carolina. Forced to fumble and recovered it. Set up the first score of the game.
The killer of that penalty is its yardage and a loss of down. So it's second down and very long, not first down, repeat the play.
And how frisky will Jimbo Fisher get with the play calling here? With still a relatively inexperienced quarterback, true sophomore, Mond. And they are careful. He couldn't get away. Got yanked down by Josh Allen.
I think you have to play the percentages here if you're Jimbo. Number one, your defense has been lights out, and they've held Kentucky's offense in check, and the passing game has been no threat.
I guess number 2.
You've got a great punter.
Yeah, the punter's going to kick it 96 yards into the upper deck.
You have to play the percentages here and hope that your defense can get another stop. You've got 2 timeouts in your back pocket, so I would not expect to see anything risky here with Kellen Mond. Kentucky in a prevent type look with 3 deep defenders. See, that was going to be a run play.
False start, number 77 offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Ryan McCollum, ordinarily a backup, but he did start 7 games last year. There's false starts, and then there's that one. He was on his way comfortably ahead of anybody else moving.
He was getting a head start.
Braden Mann getting ready. Hit an 82-yard punt in the first half, 3rd longest in school history. He's the best punter in the country so far this year. And they'll likely be looking to him for another boomer, unless they can convert on 3rd and 24. The Aggies need to get to the 38-yard line. Travion Williams.
Got some room for the punter. That's a good safe call. Kentucky was in a prevent defense. And now you give Braden Mann a little bit more room to boom one here.
If you're Kentucky, would you call a timeout? Or you have so little confidence in your offense? I guess you probably feel like you have enough time if you're going to do anything with 2.5 minutes and all of your timeouts.
And here's the other thing. If I'm Mark Stoops, I'm thinking I maybe would rather try to have my offense play in overtime where I start on the 25-yard line instead of thinking I could drive it with what we've done tonight so far. So I think he'll be very conservative as well.
Man leading the nation in punting. Wow. David Bouvier in trouble inside the 10. And it's the 12th man, fan favorite, Colin Gillespie.
He plays on every special teams. That's where he's made his mark. He's a fan favorite because of the 12th man, the jersey, the long flowing hair, and he makes a huge play after a booming punt. Kentucky with 90 yards to go.
That punt was 60 yards.
There's just no way that you want to take too many risks. Your quarterback has not proven that he can make the play down the field. Something very safe here. Maybe try to get the ball to C.J. Conrad if you do throw the football, your tight end.
Benny Snell lined up behind Terry Wilson in the pistol. Conrad, the tight end, to the left. Snell finds some room. Snell has a first down. Drag Charles Oliver along with him.
Kentucky with all 3 timeouts. You know, getting that first down is critical when you're running a 2-minute offense. But again, I just don't know how much confidence Mark Stoops has in Terry Wilson or their offense's ability to go on a 90-yard drive or even set up a potential winning field goal.
Well, you're going to be lucky to get to overtime probably if you get there. Nice catch by Snell. He's chopped down at the 29. He wanted more. Landis Durham in on the stop. Debian Renfro. Let's take a look at tonight's PlayStation Player Index. It's Snell way below his SEC leading rushing average, but still time to make the game deciding play tonight. Can he pop one? Maybe get him into field goal range. Pops one through the first level of the defense and has a first down at the 39. And now some life in their step with 1:17 to go in all 3 timeouts.
And now I think you can be a little bit more aggressive if you're Eddie Grant as the play caller. You've gotten 2 first downs. Now maybe to take a play or shot at something deeper down the field.
Wilson out wide to Conrad, the tight end. Short gain, did stop the clock with 59 seconds to go.
They have not used one of those timeouts yet. So if they make another first down, now you're thinking, what do we have to do to get in Miles Butler's range to try to win this football game?
His career long is 46. That was back in 2015. He was mostly a backup for the last 4 years to the all-time leading scorer in Kentucky history, Austin McGinnis. Both teams have unsettled place-kicking situations. And Wilson is sacked. Justin Matabike back at the 38-yard line.
Matabike with a good rush. Again, they line up, they show you 6 guys at the line of scrimmage. It's hard to decipher who's rushing and who's not. Matabike beats the center, Drake Jackson. Remember, Drake Jackson battling a groin injury, maybe not 100%, got beat by Matabike on that play.
3rd down and 11. 25 seconds to go. Undefeated Kentucky having a magical year till now. Wilson running out of time. He lost the football. Otaro Alaka knocked him down. The ball came out. Benny Snell got it back. There's a flag on the play. And the clock stopped with 13 seconds to go.
Now, Terry Wilson's lucky there. I mean, he was trying to make something. There was nothing there, and he got careless with the football. The only thing you cannot afford here is a turnover. If you have to punt, you have to punt.
Number 71 offense. Penalties decline. The result of the play is 4th down.
Yeah, you decline the penalty because they lost yardage on the play. Here's the hold right.
2nd charge timeout. Texas A&M.
On Kiki.
30-second timeout.
A&M uses the timeout right here. Terry Wilson. No, don't do that.
Well, he might have been down.
His knee was down, but just hold on to the ball, eat it, and punt the football.
Well, he's inexperienced. They didn't have a quarterback who had thrown a pass in an FBS game entering this year. You mentioned Wilson started out at Oregon. redshirted there. Then he realized he was not going to be the quarterback. They have Justin Herbert. They had a coaching staff change. Scott Frost and Mark Helfrich, who recruited him, were gone. So he went to junior college last year, and Kentucky went after him hard. He chose Kentucky over Florida because Benny Snell, among others, convinced him, you're the missing piece. We need a quarterback. We have everything else in place to have a special year.
I really like his demeanor. He was a pleasant guy to meet with, very even keel. Ironically, Kentucky replaces a guy who was a 2-year starter in Steven Johnson, who was also a junior college transfer that came in, was supposed to be a backup, ended up being a starter and taking Kentucky to back-to-back bowl games. And they're hoping for bigger things with Terry Wilson.
Will Jimbo Fisher come after Max Duffy? They have everybody on the line. Nobody back deep for the punt.
First charge timeout, Kentucky. 30-second timeout.
Well, this has been a punter's duel, so you're seeing that timeout. They wanted to see what A&M was going to do, how they were going to line up and come after the punter and make an adjustment off of that. This has been, the punters have been huge in this game so far today.
I think back to a game I did with the great Chris Spielman a couple of years ago, Michigan and Michigan State. Michigan at the end of the game just wanted to get the punt off and couldn't do it. I think if you're Mark Stoops in that huddle over there, one of the things you say, if there's any doubt at all, hold somebody.
Yeah.
You know, if you think somebody's going to run toward your punter, tackle them. We'll do it over again.
Yeah, and that you got to just get the snap, you got to get the ball off clear, and then go to overtime and take your chances in overtime. And again, I think that Mark Stoops has to be saying, you know what, I feel better about our offense's chance with a short field in overtime than I did on this possession.
Rashad Paul is back, but he's not really deep. He's about 25 yards off the line of scrimmage. Not a great punt by Duffy. And now A&M, if they could make one play, they might be able to try a long field goal.
I think Duffy was so anticipating pressure that he rushed the kick. He didn't have to kick it that soon. And because of the rush, he kind of shanked it off his foot out of bounds. He'd been kicking beautifully all night, and that time he anticipated pressure, and A&M didn't bring pressure, and he didn't get the same kind of kick.
Australian rules football background, like many now over in Australia, coming to this country to get a college education with an eye toward perhaps the NFL as well.
And you know, most of his kicks, when he's rolled to the right, he's kicked back to the left side of the field. That time he kicked it to the side he was rolling, and he kicked it out of bounds. A different technique that time, maybe with concern from Paul, the return man, but a poor kick, in A&M with an opportunity here to at least try to make a play with 8 seconds.
His previous shortest punt of the night was 45 yards. He's punted 9 times. That's 15 yards shorter than any other punt tonight. And now let's see how Jimbo Fisher will play it. Their field goal situation is shaky. They had to go to the backup, the true freshman Seth Small, when the veteran Daniel LeCamber got hurt in the second game of the year. It's Travion Williams. Travion Williams down. They're still not really in field goal range, you would think.
They called timeout.
Yep. Although if you have somebody over there who you think could blast from about 60, you might want to try it here. At the very least, you could throw one in the end zone. Seth Small, true freshman from Katy, Texas, is the kicker. An Under Armour All-American, as long as 52 in the limited sample that was in the loss at Alabama.
I think you got to try to throw one here to the end zone. Your biggest receiver is Kendrick Rogers, number 13. He's got to kind of be in the middle of a group of receivers down around the goal line. And you just got to, you know, it's a Hail Mary. It's one of those give it a shot plays. It'll be the last play of the game. If you're Kentucky, you're not really thinking interception. You're thinking just try to knock the football down and go to overtime. So,
boy, if they get to overtime, it'll be just barely. The defense had to score the game-tying touchdown. The punter's so good all night long. Shanks one, just trying to get it off. They send 3 receivers to the right.
And Rogers is the middle of those 3. So he's the guy you want to go up and try to high point the ball or even tip it.
And here comes pressure. Looked like Allen got held for a moment. No flag on the field. Up and goes into the end zone. And it's incomplete.
That got knocked down. The ball's on the ground.
End of the fourth quarter.
Intended for Kendrick Rogers, it seemed. The crowd of players there. Devontae Robinson, sophomore, hometown man from Lexington, Kentucky. Foremost on the defense on that play.
Kind of see the arm strength of Kellen Mond, though. That ball was all the way into the end zone. And it falls to the ground, and we go to overtime.
Day of college football action around the country. Kentucky trying to remain undefeated, get to 6-0 for the first time since 1950. In their first meeting with A&M since 1953, they met back-to-back years, 1952 and 53. Bear Bryant was the coach of Kentucky back in those days. And of course, he was really the trendsetter for what was happening with Jimbo Fisher here. Because Texas A&M, back in those days, had a group together. They wanted to get the best coach they could get. So they lured Bear Bryant here with $25,000.
Okay, gentlemen, going to extra periods. You're going to call the toss. The winner of the toss gets to choose whether to go on offense, defense, or which end of the field we play on, okay? This is heads. This is tails. What is your call?
Tails.
Tails. The call is tails.
You want to win this.
It is heads. You win the toss.
We want to play defense.
You want to play defense. Which end of the field do you want to play on?
Which way he said? He said we're going to go this way. We're going to go this way.
All right. So put your backs to this goal. Texas A&M won the toss, chose to go on defense first. Kentucky chose to play on this end of the field.
Yeah, you want to go on defense first, so that when you go to offense, you know what you need to do when you get the ball.
And if you're Kentucky, you choose that end of the field because that's the only part of the stadium where there's a decent amount of blue going into that end zone. So they chose that direction, and their offense will come on the field. Only 178 total yards of offense for Kentucky. Benny Snell has been held in check, only 60 yards rushing. But by getting the ball on the 25-yard line, Benny Snell becomes, he becomes your main weapon again.
He's never had a touchdown reception. He's the all-time leader in Kentucky in career touchdowns with 40.
Yeah.
Never had a touchdown catch. They've thrown the ball to him tonight. Might it be the oddity of a touchdown catch to put them ahead? The way it's gone tonight, if you're Mark Stoops, we're joking, of course, but would you put the defense on the field? You saw Ben Snell, Benny Snell's dad. They fake to Lynn Bowden and swing it to him. He scored their offensive touchdown very early in the game.
Well, how about
he gets ridden down by Donovan Wilson, who's been a great open field tackler tonight.
Really a sure tackler, vocal, inspirational leader of this defense, talks to the team every day, holds everybody accountable. He has been a force in the open field tonight.
Neither team wants to try a field goal. The field goal kicking situation a little unsettled on each side.
I'd like to see a little option to the wide side. Give Wilson and Benny Snell the chance to make a play.
It might have been a design run. He looked to the left like he was going to throw the quick hitter to the inside receiver. Wilson pulled it down and got within about a yard of the first down, perhaps a yard and a half.
It was a design quarterback counter. I think the fake outside was just that, a fake. Wilson just not quite able to finish that run for the first down, and now they'll go straight shotgun, and you know who's carrying the football here.
Benny Snell, the Wildcat in the Wildcat.
Would you dare call a pass here with Benny Snell?
He can do it. He has done it.
Timeout, Kentucky. That is their first and only timeout this overtime period. 30-second timeout.
A jump pass possibly to the tight end Conrad. If A&M is all crowded around the line of scrimmage, it could be the call of the night.
Yeah, he was 1 for 1 passing this year for 43 yards, one of their longest plays of the year, and a touchdown for his career. Snell has thrown it 7 times, completed 3. Tonight after the Utah-Stanford game, Sports Center, with a dynamic duo, John Buccigross and Stan Verrett. Complete post-fight breakdown from Habib McGregor at UFC 229. Plus the best from college football, and that's a lot to pick from tonight. All the key moments from the baseball game twos in Houston and Boston Sports Center after Utah at Stanford. What a great day here on ESPN.
Are they changing what they're doing now after the timeout? Now the quarterback is behind center.
And they're in the pistol. And a lot of time wasted, and Wilson's down. They might have got a little too tricky for themselves. And Kingsley Keke with a huge play back at the 25-yard line.
They thought they were going to fool the A&M defense. They had two tight ends. They're going to release them both out on the route. A&M was not fooled at all. They played pass beautifully. They had both receivers covered. And then Terry Wilson not able to get away from Keke. The timeout caused Kentucky to change the play, and now they have a long field goal attempt.
And can the Kentucky magic continue off the foot of Miles Butler? Long-time backup until this is senior year, former walk-on, to give them the lead in overtime. Bang! Off the crossbar and short. Right down the middle, but he clanked it off the crossbar.
And you think of the 5 yards lost by Terry Wilson on that sack. The difference in this field goal attempt.
Yeah, rare to see any kicker come up short from 43 yards with very little wind as a factor, but he didn't catch all of it. One of the great stories of their season, the former walk-on, a 4.0 student. The team was elated when he got put on scholarship. For many years, they didn't have to worry about the kicking when they had McGinnis, the 4-year starter and all-time leading scorer. Now all A&M does, all they need is a field goal in their kicking situation. As we mentioned, not rock solid with the true freshman Seth Small. All they need is a field goal, and A&M will have its biggest win under Jimbo Fisher in his first home game in the SEC. Travion Williams would be about a 33-yard field goal from here.
Just good power run. You got two tight ends in the formation. Nice job running right in behind Trevor Wood, the graduate transfer tight end from Arizona. Boy, I just am so surprised Kentucky had the play with Benny Snell was going to run the football. They called timeout. They changed the play. They took the ball out of the hands of their best player on the most critical play of the night.
Yep, a little too tricky. Might have overthought it with the additional time, and now Mon gets the first down.
It just reminds me, sitting there watching Penn State and Ohio State last week, the critical play of the game, 4th and 5. Trace McSorley, you take the ball out of his hands and put it in someone else's hands, and Ohio State gets the stop. They took the ball out of Benny Snell's hand on that play, and now A&M closing in on a potential game-winning field goal here in OT.
Seth Small, the kicker. 0 for 1 tonight. He hit the right upright from 40 yards, and he was 1 for 3 last week. Travion Williams.
Travion's just got to make sure he takes care of the football here. He's running hard. He's fighting for extra yardage. But he's got to make sure he takes care of the football. They are clearly in field goal range. Now will they, you know, depending on which hash mark Seth Small would prefer to be on, do they just run the ball over to the middle of the field here? Probably do that on 3rd down, depending on what they do here.
Kick it on 3rd down. It might not matter. It does not. Travion Williams wins the game in overtime for Texas A&M.
Jimbo Fisher told us yesterday, if Cullen Gillespie ever learns to block, he's going to be an NFL player. Well, guess what? On this play, he gets the key block. Watch him lead the way for Travion Williams. Kick out block by the fullback. Travion Williams runs through a tackle, and A&M, in their first overtime possession, gets the touchdown in the win.
Darius West, perhaps tired, whiffed on the tackle. Yeah, that's
He's
not
trying
his
to rip the
usual
ball
effort.
out. He's trying to strip the ball out instead of meeting the back in the hole. And Travion Williams was having none of that. There's Trevor Wood, the other tight end, blocking again. This is a team that did not have a tight end or a fullback last year. And on that play, and all night, really, they've been factors.
And no doubt it's a touchdown for Travion Williams in the biggest win in his first season for Jimbo Fisher. He said this will be a pivotal game. We'll find out a lot about how good we are. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, Travion, you told us before the game this would be a good opportunity to show who had the heart to run the football in this game. You did it in overtime. How hard was it in that moment?
I mean, it was extremely hard, but at the same time, you know, we revert back to our training and go back to what we practice every day. We go back to what we practice, the fundamentals and doing the little things. You just got to beat the man in front of you and win your one-on-one, man. Kudos to my offensive line. Kudos to the defense. Everybody had a great game today.
It looked like you'd been injured trying to make the tackle on the turnover that Kentucky tied the game on. How did you get back up despite being down for a really long time there?
Man, I just tried to sell out and make a play for my team. I laid out and dove out, hurt my ribs a little bit, but at the same time, you know, I just kind of fought through it, man. If I'm hurt for the guys that I play next to, man. So I'm still hurting, but I did it for those guys.
A win will make you feel better. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Sean, at the beginning of the show, we said the two running backs were the story. Texas A&M put the ball in his hands. Kentucky didn't put it in Benny Snell's.
Time now to send you to Adam Amin, Utah and Stanford.